Welcome back to another episode of Collector's Quest. I'm Tyler here with Johnny. Johnny, what's going on?
Hey, Tyler. Long time no talk. Missed you, buddy.
It has been so long since we recorded. I've been sick. I got sick at Gen Con. And I don't feel bad. Johnny, do you know how consistent this show is for a show that comes out every 2 weeks? It's basically like planning, like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign with your friend, and there's always like, oh, there's a scheduling conflict. But no, we got to get the show out every 2 weeks-ish.
We do.
And this is like the first time in a long time we missed a week.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you know what I hate in like in every YouTube video when they're like, oh, I'm sorry I haven't posted, or any one of those kind of posts on any platform. We're not doing that shit. We missed a week. We're human beings.
Yeah, don't apologize, because one, I don't care. Like, I'm just here clicking through YouTube, dude. If you didn't post a video, 11,000 other people did.
Sure did. But to those people who support us, we're sorry that we were off 2 weeks. If that threw off
You're apologizing. Don't apologize.
Well, I'm saying I'm sorry if it threw off their podcast schedule for those people.
Right.
I'm not apologizing for us. I just know that some people get, like myself, little OCD, little like their consistency. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make it as PC as possible. All right. Anyways, y'all, we're back and we're here, and we have decided that we should do the thing that other content makers do, Tyler. We're gonna do the thing where somebody else said something, so we're just gonna talk about what they said. We're learning how to do the content thing. We're just like, somebody else said something, and then we do the exact same video, right?
Well, the thing is, I wanted to do an episode on like the top 10 most collectible things in the future, or what I think the top 10 most collectible games ever will be, basically. And then I started making the list. It's like Mario, Zelda, Pokemon. I'm like, this isn't even interesting enough to be an episode. And then like a month later, Henry and Greg from the Cheat Code Weekly podcast came out with their list. If you don't know, they have a podcast about graded games and the very high-end stuff.
If you're into that stuff, you should go check them.
They're like video game guys, not sports card guys. I know, like that. You know what I mean when I say that. They're video game guys. So they know
Tyler,
what they're talking about in video games. And I disagree with like half of what they said. And I'm like, this is great. Now we have a whole bunch of content we can create.
Yeah. No, I've been noticing a trend in a lot of my content creators where, I watch the same kind of content. I'm like watching stuff on my Star Wars game, right? One guy does a video and then there's 10 other videos. It's the same video, just by those guys instead. Not like an original thought between the 10 guys that make videos.
It's called
like one
conversation, Johnny.
No, it's not even a conversation. They all act as if they had just thought of it for the first time. But I just watched, and I can watch it happen. I know who the best is because they come out with the idea first, and then I watch it trickle through the worst ones until it gets to the very bottom. It's awful. Just like, and I struggle, and I never want us to be that. But I don't mind having a conversation about this list. I like Henry and Greg, but this list was crazy, and I want to talk about it. Some of it was crazy. Some of it's crazy.
Johnny, I just got back from a delightful trip to Indiana, United States of America. For those of you who don't live in the United States, not really a place you usually visit, but there were two things going on. There was the Lake Geneva Wargaming Convention, known as Gen Con, and I went to Cedar Point, which is... Let me just talk about Cedar Point real quick, Johnny. We went to Six Flags Magic Mountain a few months ago.
Yeah.
Which was like... If you live on the East Coast, like I have my whole life, you hear these mythical stories about Six Flags Magic Mountain, the park with the most roller coasters in the world. And it's fucking garbage. It was depressing. They were running one train on everything. So like there was a line of 100 people, but it would take an hour to get through. And the two best roller coasters were closed. It was a bad time at Six Flags Magic Mountain, except that I was with my friend Johnny.
We didn't have a bad time, but it was also like a Tuesday in April or something, or Wednesday in April. So, a little bit different. Running skeleton crews.
Very much. And then the other kind of mythical park you hear of on the East Coast is Cedar Point, which is the premier Cedar Fair park. I haven't been there in like 10 years, and it was just as incredible as I remember. Like, they were running 3 trains on everyone. The park staff was like helpful and friendly.
And what month would you say you went there?
I went there on a rainy Tuesday. I specifically picked the day where the least amount of people would be there.
What month was it?
It would be August.
August as opposed to April.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Summer.
If I'm paying full price for the park, I demand you to be. The staff should be good. The operations should be as fast as possible. You can't be lazy just because it's April. I'm paying.
Okay, it's going to be like a sweet metaphor for when times were better. Like, especially as you get older, you're going to like look at these abandoned rundown parks and you're going to be like, remember when life was good and now everything is garbage.
Back in 2009, you're telling me they spent $100 million to build a train that whips you around for a minute? But we can't build a real train between Los Angeles and San Francisco?
That's true. Well, no.
How crazy is that?
We could have, except there was don't bring that up.
Okay.
I just want you to know that the supposed high speed rail, which wasn't even going to be high speed, between Los Angeles and it was going to stop in Fresno and then go to Sacramento and San Francisco, was the dumbest thing. I don't know who in California voted for it. There's just the biggest waste of fucking money. And I was at the age where like I was understanding where my tax dollars were going, and so fucking mad.
We are too car-brained as a country, Johnny. We will never have good transit. We should give up on the dream. Americans are just not built for this.
You think it's the Americans? You think it's? Have you seen
how much rail China has built in the past 20 years? They built like more than the entire United States of America has ever had.
Yeah, you know why though? You think it's just your average American. You don't think it's that corporations have us in lockstep, and you don't think that lobbyists and everything control all of this, Tyler?
Yeah, but also public opinion is, I need my car. Why would I want a train between two major?
Oh, Tyler, let's get into it. Let's get into politics. How do you think the public got their opinion?
It's through lobbying and people posting online, like bots posting online. So people are like, oh, get her done on when they see a stupid opinion, and then they'll see that same stupid opinion 10 times, even though they're all bots. What are you guys doing on Reddit? Get off Reddit. It's all bots trying to influence your opinion. You guys are in the machine. Escape the Matrix. Oh, is that like a QAnon thing? Maybe don't escape the Matrix. Maybe just
take the red pill. Wait, no.
Be mindful of your online surfing habits.
Everything is a trap. Oh no. We see. This is why we don't talk about politics. We're not good at it.
We are not good at it.
All right. Let's diverge back into it. We just lost like 12 viewers.
I know. Like, someone's gonna leave an angry review like, hey, just QAnon. They made fun of QAnon.
Well, I'm just mad that we wasted tax money on trains. And we don't care about them here. Also, we have like one of the fastest highways right there. You literally have the 5. You just drive, like everyone just does 80 on it. What? Expand that. Don't put a train in. What are we talking about? Trains have to stop and stuff. And this train was only going to do 60 miles per hour.
Look, you build more roads. There become more cars on the roads. You increase traffic rather than decrease traffic. I don't want to talk about transit. There's much better YouTube channels you can go to about that.
No. Let's also talk about something we're not qualified to talk about more.
Johnny, have you been on Steel Vengeance?
No, I've not.
Okay. It's the best roller coaster in the world. I don't know. That's not exactly a hot take. This coaster's been around for 8 years now, I think. It's number one. It's better than Velocicoaster.
How is it better than Velocicoaster?
It's better than Velocicoaster. I don't know. I mean, it's like number 1 or number 2. It's basically, if you like regular drops, it's Steel Vengeance. If you like boosts instead of lift hills, then it's Velocicoaster.
Okay. I think I like boosts. I don't know. I love a lift hill too.
It's pretty good. I know we have a lot of people in New Jersey who are probably feeling pretty good. Like, oh, we got Six Flags Great Adventure, which I think is like considered one of the best Six Flags parks. And that's my park as a kid. But man, go expand your horizons. Go to some Carowinds, some King's Dominion, some Dollywood, some Cedar Point. All those are better than Great Adventure.
Man, I keep hearing people telling me about Dollywood. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I think our friends at the Lost Joystick Network just went to Dollywood.
They did, and then I had some other friends telling me about their trip to Dollywood, like this that they'd been planning. I was like, "What is happening? Who are all these people I know going to Dollywood?"
It's because it sounds like it's lame, right? It sounds like, oh, Dollywood, how could that be good? But really, it's like this one-off boutique, not like boutique, but like it's like high-end. It's like an elevated experience. It's almost like the Disney World of being Six Flags. It's nice.
So weird. And then now Epic Universe just opened. Lots of theme park stuff going on.
Yeah, there's going to be so much debt going around from building these giant things right before we go into a recession and people stop taking vacations. Whew.
Well, I mean, I think if we go into a recession, that means video game prices will soar again.
Whoa.
Right? Right? That's how that worked last time.
I mean,
Oh no, we didn't.
They didn't soar.
Didn't,
Everything doubled. Next recession, alternative investments are the only answer.
Oh, cool. Well, did we actually even hit a recession? I thought we just hit a pause, like they were on a break. That's a Friends reference for all of you Friends people. I don't know what that means. I just know I'm supposed to say it. That's what my script says. Right, Tyler?
I have no idea what you just said, Johnny.
I just want people to think that there's a script.
All right. No one told me life was going to be this way.
There you go. Cool. All right. What else? You went to Gen Con. How awful was it?
Oh, Gen Con's the worst convention I've ever been to. I figure people here might have heard of Gen Con because it's the biggest gaming convention in North America. And by gaming, it's technically all games, but it's basically tabletop games. So it's tabletop RPGs, board games, war games like Warhammer. And
sounds awesome. Something I've always wanted to go to.
Sounds cool. There's 80 to 100,000 people there, which is compared to the conventions we normally go to, which are 20 to 30,000. And I thought that a lot of people is a lot of people. It's going to be the same. No, turns out having an extra 50,000 people in one convention center and the multiple surrounding hotels makes it just wall to wall packed the entire time. And it's no fun because it's completely jam-packed. You can't even move. You know how Midwest Gaming Classic on the vendor floor has those wide thoroughfares where they put the cars? And it's basically just a lot of room for people to move around so they don't get trapped. Imagine a vendor floor 3 times as big as Portland Retro Gaming Expo with no big hallways. It's just wall-to-wall people and 50,000 more people are in there. It's a bad time.
I don't want to.
Also, you know how you wander around a convention and you're just I'm kind of bored. I got nothing going on. Let me look at the schedule and see what's up. No, you cannot do that because every single event requires a separate paid ticket at Gen Con. Even just a panel, 5 guys fucking around playing Dungeons and Dragons for an hour. That's a $14 panel on top of your $150 ticket.
What? Hold on.
And it sells out. All of them sell out. So you have to book this months in advance. There is zero walking around just finding something to do. You have to decide what you're going to do 4 months before you go to Gen Con. Even going to a panel that's 5 guys dicking around playing Dungeons and Dragons.
What do you...
It's fucking crazy.
What are you talking about? That can't be...
It's so bad.
What?
That's Gen Con. Game demos and stuff. You would think I walk around the floor and I could demo some games. No, you walk around the floor and stand in line for an hour to demo a game where you could have just sat at home and just bought the game for way cheaper than that. I don't get it. I don't understand Gen Con at all. It's a bad convention. Its problems are because it's too big. The problem is there's 80,000 people. If we just let anyone into this panel, there would be a line and we would have to turn away half the people, which is a great reason not to go to a convention that has 80,000 people.
Huh.
I haven't been to San Diego Comic-Con. I imagine it's very similar in that the fact that there's so many people makes it not fun in a lot of ways. You can't have any kind of personalized experience because there's too many people.
No, I don't. So I went to a Gen Con once, and I want you to know that it didn't go well for this Gen Con. It was a version of Gen Con that happened in SoCal. And it was in 2005 and 2006. And it was great, Tyler. It was great. It's one of the most fun I've ever had at a convention.
Did it not require separate tickets for every event?
No. In fact, it was 3 years. It was 2004, 2005, maybe even 2003. I think, yeah, but I think I didn't go in 2003. Or did I? I can't remember. But it was down by Disneyland, and you just went, Tyler, and it was easy to get a hotel room that was attached to it. And yeah, you just walked around and you played games. That's where I did the Puerto Rico competition. That's where I learned to play Anachronism. That's where I did the World Championship for Anachronism for 2 years in a row.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it was great. And you know how I got into those events? I just walked in.
Yeah.
I didn't. There was no planning. I was just like, "Oh, Gen Con's happening. I'm going to go play games." And so and everyone there was like, "Oh man, Gen Con India is so much better and bigger." And that's all I've heard since then. So in my brain, since like 2006, I've had this romanticized version of what Gen Con Indie must be like, and you're really crushing that.
I had the same idea. And you know how we go to Midwest Gaming Classic and it's like, oh, we booked a hotel at the convention center. This is great. We're all going to have a great time and not need a car. Like the entire city of Indianapolis gets booked out. We had to book an Airbnb like 20 minutes outside the city. It was the only place we found.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you made those reservations months.
Yeah, my friend's an idiot when it comes to planning, but still, it is getting to be in the hotel at a convention is really important to me. And with Gen Con, like there's like all kinds of tiers of VIPs and things like that. Like you'll never get the hotel at the convention for Gen Con. It's too big.
Man. Yeah. Well, I just did we were both just at conventions. I did that one for Star Wars in Las Vegas. And even though it was expensive, it was so nice being in the hotel that the convention was at. Just so much easier. Also, just at the Venetian, just like walk down, go to the convention, easy.
Exactly. And you know how like board game conventions or they have like a game library for you to check out and play games. There were numerous like vendor specific game libraries where they said like just check out a game, like bring it back to your hotel room and bring it back to us whenever because we understand that it just might be too crowded here for you to play.
No, that's the whole point. You sit down at the tables and play with the people.
You go to Gen Con, you check out a board game, then you go play it in your hotel room.
Why wouldn't I just buy the game and not go to Gen Con then?
That's a great question, Johnny. I think instead of going to Gen Con, go get your 4 best tabletop RPG or board game friends and go like rent a really nice cabin in whatever the nicest place in the country near to you is and just go have a board game weekend and you'll have way more fun and you won't have to buy separate tickets for every game you want to play.
And then you could just put on YouTube videos of panels that happened at Gen Con.
I got the true Gen Con experience. I did the premiere event, which is True Dungeon, which is sort of half live D&D game, half escape room. I won't fully explain it. I will say it's an hour and a half experience, and my group paid $800 for it.
Oh my
Our group of 6, and we got placed with 4 other people. So it's like $1,200 for like 10 people. And it's more like $1,600 for 10 people. And you go through 7 rooms, and there were 4 battles we had to do, and 2 out of our 4 battles we didn't have time to finish because we were kind of getting rushed because there's so many people at Gen Con. So they just kind of like hand waved us, and they're like, you guys won the battle. That was my
I just paid this all
$800 experience.
I just paid Disneyland money for this shit. What? Slow down.
Anyway, strongly don't recommend Gen Con. Come see us at the Midwest Gaming Classic. Also, I saw DGen X, our listener of the show, DGen X. We met up. He did True Dungeon with us. Great to see him. He seems to have a lot of fun at Gen Con. He's been going there for 20 years. My friend, I'll never be back. I'm happy you find this fun, but not my thing. Go to MagFest. If you like tabletop games, go to MagFest. It's way more fun. I used to think MagFest is like 25,000 people. I'm like, wow, there's an infinite amount of people here. I was wrong. You could like find a hallway to sit down in MagFest and like relax and decompress, and that's impossible at Gen Con. I don't know who it's for. All right, I thought we're nerds. Aren't we nerds? Aren't we like introverted? Aren't we like all like agoraphobic? Don't we not want this?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
That's why you go to the CQ sleepover, and which was just Tyler and I this year, and we had a great time.
Like the CQ sleepover is the thing to do.
Yeah. We had a great time. I don't know why no one came with us.
I don't know. I just think they're not TurboGrafx CD fans because they don't think that Beyond Shadowgate will be one of the top 10 most expensive games 20 years from now.
Well, they're wrong. It's on my list. How about yours?
Johnny.
Yeah.
Henry and Greg made these lists of the games that they said will be the most expensive in 10 to 20 years. 10 years is too soon. I'm going out to 20 years. Do you want to read off both of their lists of the most expensive games?
I do. I desperately want to read their lists. Okay. So just a couple quick notes about their list. They have 21 games on their list because Greg has 11. In this list, there are only 14 unique games, okay, just so we're where we stand here. All right. So Henry, He's the one, if you're unsure, it says Cheat Code Weekly on his. He's usually on the left-hand side. Super Mario Brothers gloss sticker as his number one game. Zelda TM, that's First Prince Zelda for all y'all. Super Mario Brothers 3 Left Bros. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out White Bullets. Donkey Kong NES gloss sticker. Super Mario 64. Here's the hottest of the hot takes. Metal Slug Neo Geo AES. He might even be right. Mario Brothers NES gloss sticker. Pokemon Red Sandshrew on the back art. Madden on the Genesis. Here's Greg's list. Super Mario gloss, also number 1. Zelda TM number 2. They're sharing those. He comes in, though, at his number 3, Super Mario World. He's got Pokemon Red Sandshrew as well. Zelda A Link to the Past. Also has Super Mario 64. Mario Bros. NES gloss sticker. Not Super Mario, but Mario Brothers. Okay. Donkey Kong NES gloss sticker. Sculptor's Cut 64. I'm sure that is, we'll get to it later. Super Mario Brothers 3 Left Bros. And Mega Man, the Dr. Wright edition versus the Dr. Light edition. Some misprint on the back of the box. If you aren't sure, when we say Super Mario Brothers Left Bro, that means the bros is justified on the left rather than being centered. Gloss stickers are types of stickers that were on early print NES black box games, as opposed to gloss or matte. Okay, initially they were sticker sealed. Did I leave anything else that we need to explain? Sometimes we're bad at that.
I don't think so. You could just assume that it's going to be the earliest variant for all of the games we said. The games are what matters. I think a lot of them are obvious. No Mario, Zelda, Pokemon stuff. I think so. Half of the list is pretty obvious, and then I think half we can fight about, and has given us enough content to argue.
Okay. So how do you wish to proceed? Do you want to just expand on what we think? Do we want to take people back to like what 20 years ago was? So we know, like imagine that they made this list, or we were in today's era, like 20 years ago, you would have to, you were playing what was happening in 2005?
It wasn't even the end of 2005. So Xbox 360 wasn't out yet. So we were playing like Black on the Xbox. I was probably playing Morrowind on my computer in 2005.
So I have a list of things that were being
I was
played.
playing Unreal Tournament 2004. Like, just saying that, man, that was a long time ago when I was playing Unreal Tournament 2004.
So the Wii is not quite out yet. This is right before the Wii era. We know the Wii is coming out, but it's not going to be out for a year. PS2 is still king and kind of remained so for a long time. Xbox is a console people are fighting about, saying is the best. They weren't correct.
That was me, by the way. I was the one saying Xbox was the best too.
I really liked Xbox as well, so also wrong. A long history of being wrong in video games, you and I. Resident Evil 4 was one of the top games. Ninja Gaiden Black, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, God of War. Hey, remember?
It just come out. Like, people didn't know what God of War was. They were still in the Rygar PS2 era, and they were about to be brought into the God of War PS2 era.
Yeah, bullshit copy pasting of Rygar. Civ 4 was a game. Metal Gear Solid Substance 3, Forza Motorsports, GTA San Andreas, Shadow of the Colossus, and this is my favorite game on the list, Guitar Hero. We're not even talking Rock Band. We're talking the first Guitar Hero.
20 years ago was a long time ago, Johnny.
Yeah.
I do want to remember 2005, or, let's say the 2000s, because this is what we're going to sound like as we're predicting something 20 years in the future.
Yeah.
Like, we have no idea. Like, video games have, it hurts to say stagnated, but like, we are clearly not in the rate of change of video games that we were in 2005.
No,
like
this is when the online era is not even out yet. It's about to happen. Video games are about to explode. Okay. It's about to become multitudes. Mobile gaming hasn't happened yet. This is right on the cusp of all of this beginning.
10 years ago, you were only playing 2D console games. 10 years from now, everything will be online and have DLC. It's a crazy time in video games.
Yeah. The iPhone isn't out yet, right? Like the original iPhone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's before the iPhone. Like that's one of like the key cutoffs in human history is 2007 when the iPhone came out and completely fundamentally destroyed humanity and how we socially interact with each
Well,
other.
I mean, there's just a lot of things. So iPhone becomes a big deal for mobile gaming later, right? Like Xbox 360 launches us into online games, playing with people that way. We were still in an era where you're like, I guess we kind of play with friends, but also at the end of an era too. So things were really kind of stagnant right then before they explode. And now we're in an area where I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what video games are going to start to look like because they felt really samey for a long time. I imagine this is what 2005 felt like, but without the promise of there being better things coming forward.
So Johnny, I went on digitpress.com. For you kids who don't remember, before we had Instagram, I don't know where people congregate. Before we had YouTube, we had Nintendo Age, where a few video game collectors congregated. And before Nintendo Age, we had Atari Age and DigitPress. And before that, we had Usenet. But if I went to Atari Age, everyone would only be talking about Atari games because old people are on Atari Age. So I went to DigitPress in the 2000s, and I looked up what people on DigitPress in the 2000s thought would be the most collectible video games, like ever. Like the things they thought were the top stuff. And one of the threads I found was like, what's the most collectible game from each decade? And the things that come up are things like Stadium Events, Air Raid for the Atari 2600, one of the most collectible Atari 2600 games, probably the most collectible Atari 2600 game. I think it's the mega rare Atari game that has the most copies available. So like there's Gamma Attack, but there's one copy, so you can't really own it. Whereas Air Raid, if you throw $30,000 at someone, you could probably own an Air Raid. Mega Drive Tetris, a game no one talks about anymore, an unreleased version of Tetris for the Sega Mega Drive. Kizuna Encounter, a game that you've only read about because it was on a list on like RacketBoy.com. It's a rare European Neo Geo AES game. It would be crazy. If someone said that Kizuna Encounter would be the most expensive game in 20 years, you would call them crazy.
Yes.
RCA Studio 2 Bingo. To consider this one of the most collectible games ever. No, Super Mario Brothers did not come up in these discussions. RCA Studio 2 Bingo. Friend of the show, VG Collectaholic, has one. Very expensive and rare game, by the way.
Not that interesting.
That's like an absolute grail for people who collect stupid, weird stuff like N-Gage and like RCA Studio 2. Like the games that no one collects, they're like, oh, but no one has fucking, Mr. Whatever's Clean Sweep on the Vectrex, like those kind of games. No one cares about RCA Studio 2 Bingo. Tengen Tetris got brought up. People refuted. They're like, that's not as rare as people thought. People were still talking about Tengen Tetris in the 2000s. Like,
that's crazy.
You couldn't even consider it a top game.
No,
it's a good game. It's a great game. You should own it. It's collectible. But like to put it among, we're talking about Air Raid and fucking Stadium Events. You're putting Tengen Tetris in this list.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense.
Someone for the 1970s brought up the Magnavox Odyssey. Like, okay, Tyler. Yeah, Magnavox Odyssey. Sure. Elemental Gearbolt Assassin's Case came up a few times. Someone brought up Siphon Filter 3, the American flag, like 9/11 variant. This is the stuff that people thought was going to be like the top of the top in the 2000s. And now we're here doing the same thing, trying to predict 20 years later. And everything we say is going to look stupid in 20 years.
Yes. Yeah. We're prepared to be wrong, I think.
I realized that a lot of this changed basically between like 2017 and 2021. It was a really fast change in terms of the top video games, but it could happen again. I don't think it will happen again. I think you fundamentally knew like it is stupid that we think Stadium Events is the best game in video game collecting.
I was ahead of the curve on this as an idea. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that we are right in thinking that a Mario or Zelda game should be on top, but this is how wrong we could be. This is how much can change in 20 years.
We want you to take this in that what these people said, and this is in the 2010s. We're giving ourselves even less wiggle room. But just how bad they sound. So when we sound really bad in 20 years, that was to be expected.
I want to say in 2005, I had just started collecting video games, and I definitely thought that Stadium Events, Air Raid, and Elemental Gearbolt Assassin's Case were like the top of the top. Like, man. Friend of the show, the PlayStation library has an Elemental Gearbolt Assassin's Case. Like, how does it get any better than that?
At that point, I'm like looking at lists. I've been collecting for a year at this point. This was the point where I've made lists and I'm like really starting to get into it in 2005. Like I take little dips and dives away from collecting as I realize what I'm doing. I'm like, oh yeah, I bought some of these games that I beat. I love these games. And then it's like, well, I should get them in their boxes. So some of them, then I'm like, I want to kind of get RPGs. This is like the kind of thought process I'm going through. I'm not like, let's go get sets. Like I don't have real cogent thoughts about collecting. I have not thought about collecting as an idea yet, as a bigger, a capital C collecting. I was just like, I'm just buying some stuff and like these are kind of fun. I haven't thought of this as how it will ruin my life and take over. But hey, I made a lot of good friends along the way. Hey, Tyler.
It has ruined our lives.
Yeah.
Now we're owned by our stuff.
Yeah. Fight Club was right. The things you own you. Turns around, I watched that movie a lot, even collected stuff for Fight Club, which is exactly the wrong message.
I've got it graded on Blu-ray, man.
Sick, yeah.
That would be the most ironic thing to own. I love it.
Dude, I thought it was very funny. I had my little Fight Club poster. I did have a first edition of the book sitting there on my bookshelf, and I bought a carved piece of soap that, the Fight Club, and I put it under the poster. I put a little shelf. I put it under the poster, and you know what the problem with that was? Dust, Tyler, turns out. Dust on soap goes, I had to throw it away. I'm like, this thing is now just filthy and it's on soap, so how do you clean it? It's not like I can put water on it.
It's good. Now you don't have to be embarrassed that you're like a Fight Club fan. And I'm sorry, Fight Club is a great movie, but it's just like one of those things where it's like, oh, you got a Pulp Fiction poster in your room. And like, oh, you're a Fight Club guy. Like, great. Yeah. You got real interesting taste in movies there, guy. As someone with like the most generic taste in movies ever.
Yeah. How you like And There Will Be Blood, right?
Hell yeah. It's my favorite movie, dude. Oh man, modern day Citizen Kane.
Okay. Making sure. All right. Just making sure how sophisticated you are. Tyler, what else do you have to say about this before we get into like what our kind of idea for a list would be? Do we want to talk about their list, or do we want to talk about our list first and then go to their list?
No, I want to talk about their list, and we'll use those thoughts to form our list at the end.
Okay, well, should we form one list between you and I, or are we trying to?
I think we're going to broadly agree, so we could just say whatever. Okay. Like even they only had like what you said, 14 games between them, so
yes,
we're going to agree on a lot. Okay. I do want to say I don't know. They didn't talk about these lists enough. Like, oh my god! All right, so their entire podcast is like 30 minutes, and these lists were like 10 minutes of the whole podcast. They don't understand how to take a small piece of content and stretch it out to 2.5 hours, like the Collector's Quest podcast can.
That is why you come here. You come here for the bloat.
Absolutely. You're on a car ride. You're doing a road trip here, and you want it to last at least half the car ride here.
Yeah, like how many minutes are we in right now? We've talked about the list at the very top of the show. We're not even there.
We spent 20 minutes talking about Cedar Point and Gen Con.
Look, we're on pace for this to be a fast episode. Just saying.
All right. I don't know if their list is counting sales that have already happened. So like you would imagine in 20 years that the prices in 20 years, even just because of inflation, will outpace games that have sold right now. But we're living in a world where the most expensive games, I think, are Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario 64, which sold for $2 million and $1.5 million. And so basically they're saying that every game on that list is going to be a $2 million game, because the $2 million Super Mario Brothers sale was not a sticker seal. It was just a mint hang tab. Very cool game. I would like to own a mint Super Mario Brothers hang tab. But now we're saying that Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut in 20 years will be a $2 million game sealed.
So an interesting thing, because people are like, how could even prices be like this? I've been seeing videos lately. Have you seen any of these where they show baseball cards? Like they've been going through sports cards right now and then just doing the price in 1995 and then the price today?
I mean, I haven't seen, I watch enough sports card content to know that like sports card prices are insane. They don't make any
They're
sense.
insane. And I'm not talking about like modern sports cards, because modern sports cards are insane. I'm talking, they're like looking at classic stuff, like the idea that Mickey Mantle rookies and stuff used to be like, oh my God, it was $60,000 back then. And that was a crazy amount of money in 1995. But now it's like $10 million. Don't quote me on the exact numbers, but
yeah,
like that's the kind of divergence we're talking about. So in a world where that can happen, if something happens in this 20-year span, which video games blows up, I think a lot of the, like, this could happen. It's a long enough period, but I don't think that. I've got reasons why I think that. I'll get into that later.
So the sports cards industry is completely predicated on putting out physical products, and video gaming is trying to pivot away from physical products. There would have to be some kind of big change where like publishers really want to incentivize some kind of rare physical thing that turns into a speculative investment, like sports cards are right now. Like you could go crack a pack of sports cards in 2025 and you can pull $100,000 card. I don't know how that's possible, but that is somehow possible. And the sports cards industry has figured out how to do that.
Yeah. So video games are much closer to stamps in that way, that it's just a degrading product. They're not turning it into collectibles. Pokemon, modern sports cards, they have figured out a way to make modern collectible. Okay. Video game publishers do not view games as a collectible. So that, like Tyler was saying, there would need to be a fundamental switch flipped in their heads. The only people who do, and to their credit, is Limited Run, who are trying to make you think like these are collectible, and they're pushing all the buttons they can, trying to jam this and make people think we got to collect this. But until we can sell a Switch game and make you think that it is valuable, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Until old stuff can't rise to the heights that it can get to, unless the new stuff is coming out and sparking people to keep churning through the junk to get the good stuff. Okay. And that's just not happening in video games. So I think a lot of this list predicating that these will be over $1 million, any of these games, is questionable. Like, our list should really be like, do we think any of these games will even hold their value in 20 years to what their peak were in like 2021, 22?
This whole episode, we kind of have to take as an assumption, like, video gaming as a hobby continues to grow at the high end. Because I think even if it stagnates, I don't think, we're not going to see a $2 million sculptor's cut in a stagnant video game market that's dying with physical media. So we're going to have to say that, like, it keeps growing.
And I'm not talking the super growth of sports cards there, but there has to be something. If physical media just dies and we go the way of stamps, it's going to get very weird.
Yeah,
so
that's a separate
I just
episode,
want to contextualize.
Honestly. This is the bull case where we're considering that video games grows rather than completely dies out.
Just contextualizing where we're coming from.
All right. My first comment on these two lists, Johnny. They have multiple home versions of arcade games, and man,
that's correct.
I know that the average person cannot collect a red Donkey Kong arcade cabinet, one of the original 2000 Donkey Kongs that were made, that were converted from not air raid, what is it, radar scope. So the original, like, the whole story of Donkey Kong is that Shigeru Miyamoto needed to we had too many copies of radar scope left over. We had to make a game to run on the same hardware. He made Donkey Kong. It was the best game ever. And the first 2,000 copies of Donkey Kong were in these converted radar scope cabinets. And I think they are absolutely one of the most collectible video games ever. The problem is they're so big, rare, and expensive that no one has them, except for like some weird arcade guys. Okay. And they both put the NES port of Donkey Kong as a top 10 most expensive game ever on their lists. And I get it. I get, like, people want the placeholder because it's a lot more convenient to own a copy of Donkey Kong and NES than it is to own an entire arcade cabinet. It's not the real thing. Fucking the Mickey Mantle rookie card. That's a bad example because that's not really his earliest card. But the Mickey Mantle rookie card, for all intents and purposes, is the real thing in terms of being his first card. Action Comics #1 is the real thing in terms of being Superman's first comic. A 1879 Carson City Morgan dollar is the real thing in currency. And Donkey Kong and NES is a port. And I know it doesn't matter, and I know NES is the most important console ever made, and I know it's fucking rare, But if you're spending, I'm just going to say, I'm going to have $2 million as my baseline for everything on this list. If you have $2 million to spend on an NES game, you have the fucking space to have a house where you can store a real Donkey Kong arcade cabinet. And I understand, even saying that, big stuff is not collectible.
Hold on. We're assuming house prices stay stable.
Oh, okay.
$2 million could be a shanty. And California, back when I was a kid, I just want to look. Let's go back to when I was a child. Back in the, as my son would say, back in the 1900s. It's a very hurtful thing that he likes to throw out. Tyler, I used to think about $1 million houses as like mansions.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dude, Tyler, like in some of the areas of California, $1 million house is worse than my house.
Good luck, Zoomers. You'll get that house one day. The housing market. Surely we're just going to build more. It's going to happen. All these prices are going to come crashing down.
Yeah.
We're a sensible country with good policies.
Yeah. It's so hard for me to imagine these games being $2 million. It's like, how is anyone affording these games if they have to buy a house? You want to know what's really going up? The price of homes. Buy those instead. Collect houses. Anyways, go on, Tyler. I'm sorry.
I mean, I get it. I get that arcade cabinets are never going to be as collectible as something that a rich guy can put on a shelf and not think about, because it's not going to dominate his life. And so it's the refutation to Tyler being like, oh, only the real thing matters. Mario Bros. On Atari 2600 has sold for like $40,000. Mario Bros. On Atari 2600. Fucking like actual garbage.
Yeah, hot trash.
40,000. You could buy a wide body original Mario Bros. Arcade cabinet for like probably $1,000. You could probably get one for less, but it'll be shitty. Probably $1,000 for a decent one. $2,000, I bet you can get a real nice one. The original fucking thing. CRT monitor, no LCD swap, nothing. The real thing. Or you could spend tens of thousands of dollars more to get the Atari 2600 port. That's fucking garbage. And that's why, like, no, Tyler's nitty. He doesn't understand that no one will buy arcade games. I get it, but man, to be top 10, I don't want anything on my list. And I realize there's a difference between what I want to be the top 10 and what in reality will be the top 10. I hate that there are so many asterisks applied to anything on top 10. I think the top 10 should be the greatest, bar none. There's no question about it. And you look at comics, and it's very obvious. Oh, what are the most expensive comics? First Captain America, first Superman, first Batman, first Wonder Woman, like first Marvel comic. Like these are all very obvious, important historical things. None of them are like, this is the first Superman comic that came out in Europe. Like that's not the most valuable comic ever.
No.
But I could be wrong. So I don't like Donkey Kong and Mario Bros. I think those are both crazy picks.
I'm one of the people who's like, well, Nintendo is the thing, but no, not these games aren't it. Get out of here.
So what I do like doing though, I like finding games that sell for $100,000 and buying them complete in box for way, way less. And I don't know what a Mario Bros. Or a Donkey Kong costs, like $200-$300. Like, yeah, maybe go get those. If people in the graded market think that these are going to be $1 million games one day, go get them complete in box while they're $200. Because, maybe the case is they're going to talk about like the population of these games. Like maybe there's 3 sealed Donkey Kongs or something, and that's why it's going to be $1 million game. Great. That means that as a placeholder, since only 3 people will be able to have them, a lot of people are going to go for nice complete in box Donkey Kongs. So maybe go get that in the next 20 years before it's $1 million game.
There is the trend in collecting that people see what the top get, and then they do their best to cobble a version together to emulate that. So
that's what I do, because I'm not. Yep. That's the second. I think Twisted Metal sold for like $120,000 or something. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get the nicest Twisted Metal I can before this becomes a problem. And Twisted Metal did not turn into some expensive game, but like I just got to hedge my bets when it comes to people spending crazy money on games sometimes.
So, like right now, is Donkey Kong? It's not even more expensive than Donkey Kong Jr. Math right now.
I mean, no, because Donkey Kong Jr. Math, like a nice one, is many thousands of dollars. I think like a really nice gloss sticker Donkey Kong is still a couple $1,000s. Like a graded one in a decent like 8.59 grade. And I know this because I've bid on a bunch of them. I think I've bid on every single Donkey Kong that came up on Heritage Auctions, and I hate Donkey Kong, but I know that it's... So I realize it's like this bullshit port, but I know it's going to be more expensive in the future because of this, like the fact that a sealed copy is going to sell for like $1 million, whatever. I just fucking want to get it out of the way so I don't regret not having it. I have a first print Donkey Kong arcade board. Do you know how hard I looked for that? It only came out in Japan. The ones that came to America were the second revision. And I still want the stupid Donkey Kong NES port that I'm going to pay like 5 times the price for.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
So I will say graded, like I think, and this is if price charting is right, and we don't know, but they're saying a graded sealed Donkey Kong went for like $76,000.
Oh, so we did a sealed Donkey Kong sell and only went for $76,000, and we're calling that top 10? I probably should have checked this before we started the episode.
Yeah, I'm trying to look as you talk about the list. I'm trying to go in and see what I can see. This is via price charting, so we all know, take that with a grain of salt.
Oh, that wasn't even a sticker seal. 8.5B. So a Donkey Kong mid-print. Is this not even a hang tab? Bro. Okay, so probably a late print Donkey Kong in 8.5B, which is a garbage grade in the sealed market. Sold for $72,000. This had to be 2021. Okay, this is 2021. That's why the price is crazy. Yeah. People didn't know what the fuck was going on in 2021.
Well, also, let's put some conditionalities, like as we talk about. Like, we're assuming that these are graded, good grades, original copies. When they talk about their list, I'm assuming they're talking about nice versions of these two, not garbage versions. We're talking like 9.4 at the very minimum and up.
Yeah, we're talking about the best copy in the world. So, yes. Yeah, I'm looking at the Wada Pop report. So there's one gloss Donkey Kong. It's a 9.6 A++. Wow, very fancy. That's not sarcastic. That's a very nice copy of Donkey Kong. I guess their thing is that since it's one of one, it's gonna sell for $2 million. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's VGA ones too.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe they've been crossed over. We'll never know.
I mean, I think the people in the market for this do know. We just don't care. Sorry. What else we got? My next note, Johnny, was Sculptor's Cut, followed by 10 question marks.
Absolutely not. I'm so sorry,
Greg,
to break it.
What in the name of millennial brain collecting do you think that Sculptor's Cut, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut is going to be a top 10 game in 20 years? This is the equivalent of saying Kazuna Encounter on the Neo Geo AES is going to be one of the most collectible games of all time.
Right now, Kazuna Encounter is a $5,000 game. Just so you know, I checked.
I think in 20 years, like we have seen the big shift in basically, 2019 through 2021 away from random rares into high, like really nice condition, historically important and pop culture important games. The best stuff right now is Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon, right? Yep. What is going to bring back a shift into random fucking rares? Like Donkey Kong, but Donkey Kong is on their list basically not only because it is technically a historic game, because there's one copy. It's also very, very rare.
Maybe he's thinking because there's only that one sealed version of it known that it's going to sit. I think
there's multiple. I think there's at least 2. And I don't care. It could be one of one. It's fucking Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, dude.
I'm trying to imagine what the thought process is. I mean, it's either that or, it could just be his biases because this is probably the era in which he grew up playing games and he probably owns one and it's the pump. Greg, are you pumping this? Is this the pump?
I think he might have a complete in box one, but no, his pump is Celeste on the Nintendo Switch. I think he has the highest grade copy of Celeste.
I'm kidding. I don't. These lists are like you can make this fantasy list however you want. This is not the pump. I don't think this is affecting prices.
I don't think that random rares are ever coming back. I think there's going to be like historical interest in stadium events because everyone alive today, not everyone, certainly not everyone. A lot of people alive today know stadium events is the rarest licensed NES game. There are rarer NES games. A share data chiller just came up recently on Video Game Sage, and Joe tried to buy it, and offered a lot of money for it, which the seller somehow declined. But there are very rare NES games that no one cares about because they're not stadium events. I do think stadium events will have some clout. But other than that, name one pop culture-based hobby where the absolute top stuff in the market is random rare shit that no one has ever heard of.
Honus Wagner.
What?
Honus Wagner.
God, that's such a good fucking example. All right, Stadium Sculptor's Cut. We're keeping it on the list.
He's just loaded with that one. Here's like, name one. I'm like, okay.
Damn.
Here we go.
That's such a good example. But he's like the one example. Yeah, every other sports card you've heard of besides Honus Wagner. I don't think Sculptor's Cut is the Honus Wagner of video games. No. If anything, Stadium Events is the Honus Wagner of video games.
Stadium Events is the Honus Wagner, and I was going to make that example, which is why I have it loaded, because I think Stadium Events might make my list just as a preview.
Unpopular opinion, Nintendo World Championships is the Honus Wagner.
No, Nintendo World Championships.
Because it doesn't fucking matter. Just like Honus Wagner doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Keep going, Tyler. Keep talking us through it.
All right, my next point. Metal Slug and Mega Man 1 are both B-listers. Absolute B-listers. Go to someone on the street and ask them to name a Metal Slug character. Every version of Metal Slug has 4 different dudes in it. And it says their name when you select them. And if you go to someone on the street, you're going to tell me they can name any of the Metal Slug characters. And I realize you only need one idiot to buy $1 million Metal Slug. It's not important enough, I think, to be a top 10 video game.
You don't. Do you want to name some for the people?
Marco. That's the first guy you can pick in Metal Slug 3. And I only know that because I just picked Marco. I don't know any of the other names of anyone in Metal Slug.
Trevor.
Oh, look at you. You could probably pick a pretty generic American sounding name and you'd probably be pretty right.
You would think so, but not really. So some of the names in Metal Slug are Tarma and Ari, ERI and Theo. I don't know. They I think there's a Ralph, but it's RALF. Yeah, if I remember right.
This sounds right. Metal Slug 3 is the only one I have real experience with. And that game's awesome. But it's a gamery game. And so this comes back to who are the people who are determining the value of the top 10 items? And I think in, let's say, the year 2002, I think, let's just say regular, well-to-do, probably tech people who were into Neo Geo AES were a significant part of the top-end market. They were just we're the rich elite. We've got Neo Geo. We're better than you. We can spend $900 on one video game. And so Neo Geo became this weird thing for the video game elite to be into, and they're in their own world, and they have the worst website ever, neogeo.com, the most toxic forums in video games. But especially 20 years from now, I don't think that's not even in the realm of who's determining video game prices. I don't care if there's one rich Neo Geo guy who's an actual rich guy who wants a sealed Metal Slug so bad. It's like pop culture collectors, the guy who bought the $2 million Mario. This is I think the biggest video game sale. I'm sure someone's going to tell me oh, you don't know about the non-public sale of Adventure Island 2. Was just a pop culture collector. He doesn't have, you wouldn't call him a video game collector. He wanted this because it's Super Mario Brothers. It's basically his piece that's this is the best thing in video games and I have it. Now also, hey, check out all my cool sports and comic stuff. Those kind of rich guys determine the prices of the absolute top. And I think it takes a very special person to put Metal Slug as the one big $1 million game they want to own. But you disagree. You said you might agree with Metal Slug.
But I only because the trajectory of Neo Geo games has always been up. Keeps going up. They've been expensive for so long, and every time I look at them, seemingly more expensive. And a new Metal Slug, if I'm looking right, is already sold for over $100,000. So I just, again, maybe I'm not saying for sure. I'm just, it's in the realm of possibility because Neo Geo has always been kind of like that thing. Like a graded Metal Slug is already sold. Again, this is like 2022, but already sold for $130,000. Whereas that's more than a Donkey
Great.
Kong.
That doesn't even reach the price of Tech Mobile.
Yes, which is another thing, right? Like maybe they should add Tecmo Bowl on their list. Probably not. Also, a Mega Man also sold for like $130,000. So it's interesting that you call these both B-listers and they're graded copies. They had graded copies around the same time, sell for about the same amount.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. So this is a thing where it's what I think should be the top versus reality, and I realize the reality is Mega Man sells for a lot more than I think it should be worth, because I think it's a B-lister, especially compared to you. If you put Mega Man next to Super Mario Brothers, they're not even in the same universe, but they're sharing the same top 10 list in this case.
Yeah, well, here's what my problem with Mega Man on this list is. Mega Man has been riding on being Mega Man for a long fucking time. When was the last new Mega Man game or something that revolutionized the franchise that wasn't like some small game? Like, when has it been a console highlight? And when has Capcom ever shown that they were interested in making Mega Man a prominent thing? It's been decades. So why are we still out here pumping Mega Man?
Mega Man,
we're riding nostalgia. It's not like Mario where we're churning out new Marios and Zeldas and Donkey Kongs. A new Donkey Kong just fucking came out. Mega Man? Well, the Mega Man collection is coming out for the Switch too, or some bullshit. I'm sure I'm going to hear about. It doesn't matter.
Mega Man is basically Sonic. It had a bad first game, a good few games after that, and all the regular people have only played the first few games in the series, and then kids have played everything else. You, adult 49-year-old man, I'm not talking to you, Johnny, I'm talking to one of the listeners, did not play Mega Man Star Force 3 Black Ace. You don't even know what that is. It's a Nintendo DS game, but it was for kids, which is basically what the Sonic games are now.
Yeah.
So the thing Mega Man has going for it is that it's a huge part of the NES library. It's the biggest franchise on NES. I have to assume there's 6 games, right?
Yeah, you got Mega Man 5 Battle Network Black.
I mean, the Battle Network games are good. I played one of them, but it's not Pokemon. Everyone has played every Pokemon game. That's an exaggeration, but that's a much bigger deal than all the random Mega Man games that have come out.
Yeah, no, this is I mean, look, I'm telling you, Mega Man is not the thing. I don't even agree with your Sonic analogy all the way, because Sonic just had a bunch of successful movies. What does Mega Man have that's driving it? Nothing. Nothing is propping up Mega Man except the past. And that's not enough. That's not going to hold enough water, especially as we leak away from this even further down the timeline.
All right, here's my other thing. Everyone is going to play Super Mario 64, Super Mario Brothers. Even Super Mario Brothers 3 is on both of their lists. The original Legend of Zelda, those are all considered like iconic, not only good games, but historically important games that you should play as a video game fan. And Mega Man 1 is fucking considered a skip game. People say, skip that, go directly to Mega Man 2. If Mega Man 2 was the first one in the series, I would be less down on Mega Man 1, but Mega Man 1's the fucking skip game.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you have to play Mega Man 1 at the end of Mega Man 2.
What?
You have to play all the bosses.
You have to play Mega Man 2 at the end of Mega Man 3. Do you have to play Mega Man 1 at the end of Mega Man 2? I've never beat Mega Man.
Am I thinking of 3? I thought Mega Man
3 is the one that repeats all the content from Mega Man 2. I fucking hate Mega Man 3.
Man, is Mega Man...
You can unsubscribe from this podcast. I hate Mega Man 3. That game is trash, and it runs like trash. It was rushed bullshit.
No, Rush is the dog.
Oh my god.
Okay, moving away from Mega Man.
All right, the thing is,
don't agree.
It has already sold for $100,000, and so that's going to give it clout going forward, even in 20 years. I don't think that Mega Man is. Oh, Tyler says it's a skip game. It's going to 0. Like, no, Mega Man will remain rare and expensive, especially the fancy first print. And I don't think that Mega Man 1 is going to be so far outside the top 10, is what I'm saying. Sculptor's Cut, I think, is going to be so far outside the top 10.
Unless it's a Honus Wagner.
All right, Johnny, let's fight.
Okay.
SNES games in general are all middle games. And so none of them are the first in a franchise. And I'm talking about Mario World, Link to the Past, Super Metroid, all like incredibly iconic games that people think are some of the best games ever made. Greg did mention Super Metroid, but there was no way he could put it on a top 10. I don't think future generations will see a big distinction between NES and Super Nintendo games. I think they will just look at it, be like, that's the old 2D shit. And the one that will matter is the old one. So it will be Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, and Metroid, not Mario World, Link to the Past, and Super Metroid. Fight me.
I don't know if I can fight you. There is a bit of distinction here, and this is so for the older people. I think boomers, to put things into generational speak, I think boomers are still in on like the Mario and the Donkey Kong NES games, and I think Gen X is just at that right in the Super Nintendo era. Yeah, they played NES, but I think their sweet spot was more Super Nintendo, and then that went into millennials too. They got like millennials got that crossover Super Nintendo and N64. So I think these generations as they move up could put relevance there that the boomers have already applied to our Super Marios and our original Metroids. But I think I mainly agree. They're not the first. They're just not the one. Yes, I think they are vast improvements, and I think they are some of the best games ever made, and it's my favorite system. But I mean, NES is more collectible for a reason, right? Like, what are we talking about? Well, like, how am I supposed to craft an argument around this? This has been the system that people have collected forever, and I think it was largely driven by boomers, and then that mind virus to all these people, like our friend Joe, who also loves Super Nintendo, but like the people were convinced to collect NES. So how do you fight against that?
I also think that tastes, especially in the younger generations, have shifted away from Super Nintendo being the obvious choice of the best games ever. I think that, going back to 20 years ago, there was very much a sentiment that like, yeah, Super Nintendo's the best console ever. I mean, it's not like a universal obvious thing, but if I looked up in 2005 the best Legend of Zelda games, it was almost guaranteed that the top two are Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past. 20 years on from now, I think we're going to see Breath of the Wild. I think we're going to see Link Between Worlds is going to be above Link to the Past. I think that Link to the Past doesn't have this bona fide guarantee to be the best thing ever. I think Ocarina of Time has lost that too. In 2005, it was a given that Ocarina of Time was the best game ever made in the public perception. That is no longer the case. You will not see Ocarina of Time as the number one game on a top games of all time list anymore. And I think that games like Mario World and Zelda, they haven't gone all the way down, but I don't think they're the absolute obvious number one choice. Well, and that's basically why they're on this top 10 list it's the best Zelda, Link to the Past.
I mean, to be fair with these games and why these games are still important is because they keep making new ones, and they haven't done the Mega Man bailout strategy of just making compilations or bullshit like handheld ones. They make full games that people love and still enjoy to this day, unlike Mega Man, which no one really enjoys anymore. Sorry, fuck you, Mega Man. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm curious where Super Nintendo goes in the mind share of people, but you're right. People are already talking more about PlayStation 2 being that thing. I don't even know if I agree with that. Like, we'll see where we are in 20 years. It's going to be an interesting time.
I want PlayStation 1 to be bigger in 20 years. Man, PlayStation is such an important console, and I feel like so few people are like serious collectors of it. And I mean, we know like one of the biggest PlayStation collectors.
Yeah.
When was the last time someone was like, oh, I'm primarily a PS1 collector?
Yeah. Like, go be a PS1 collector. What a fabulous library. Full of games that I pull out sometimes and I still go, wait, this is a PS1 game? What is this? I still don't recognize half of the ones I own.
There's so many games.
There's so many games. And now open that up to the Japanese library and just let your mind run wild. PS1, one of the most important consoles.
I feel like
historically one of the most important.
So kind of the generation like kind of after us in collecting that mostly collects discs, I feel like they stop at the PS2 because like you see their collection, it's all DVD cases and like Switch games, and like they'll have some older stuff too, but like they never go back to PS2, Xbox, and then also the PS1. They always stop at the PS2, and it just kills me. PS1 is so good.
It's weird. So it has kind of that same like NES to Super Nintendo effect where people are like, oh yeah, Super Nintendo is the better system. The better games are there. They did that with PS2, except no one came back and said, but PS1 is the most collectible thing.
It's the most collectible thing,
We
guys.
like they're like, oh, and PlayStation collecting PS2 is the most collectible thing. Like, what happened? Now, like I think people tried to prop that up for a little while and it just failed, and then went to PS2, and I don't know. I see more PS3 collectors and PS4 collectors than PS1 collectors now, which is like people. That's the other thing. The library is so big and so hard to nail down. People are just like, yeah, I got my PS1 games that I like a lot. I just like the set mind virus was never there. So the idea of the whole library as being super important was never put into the collecting zeitgeist.
We gotta
Never
do
made it.
let's do a see what you want to collect. Did we do PS1 yet?
We haven't. We've talked about it, and we talked about whether we want to like have Jason give us some feedback
Yeah.
first, and yeah, we need to do that. That
We need
should
to convince
that's
people
on our
this is
short
the best.
list.
Also, they're pretty small compared to all this other shit you're buying. NES games and DVD cases. PS1 games are small. You can have a big collection in a small space.
My whole PS1 set is sitting right next to my Super Nintendo set and taking up so much less room. Like my PS1 set's in a corner. I have every PS1 game and then a bunch of extras, and it's still less room than my Super Nintendo collection.
What a great console.
Both great consoles, and that's why they're sitting right next to each other.
All right, so Super Mario World is a unique case. I've actually been on Collector's Quest calling this one of the most underrated games and one of the most like guaranteed to be collectible games in the future. Because the individual boxed release of Super Mario World, which is a fairly late print, it came out in the middle of 1992, whereas the SNES came out in 91. It is uncommon. I'm not going to call it rare, but it is definitely uncommon, and it is really weird for an absolute banger, world-shattering Nintendo Mario game to have an uncommon release. And I think that gives it a lot of clout. I don't know if it destines it to be top 10. It's going to matter how much weight people give that rarity in the future, because I think the rarity drives it more than the importance of Super Mario World. Obviously, Super Mario World's an important game, but the reason it would be top 10 is also because of the rarity of the boxed release.
True. I agree.
All right, Johnny, neither of their lists had Pokemon Blue, and I think that is outright wrong.
Crazy talk.
I mean, it's so obvious to say, oh, just put Pokemon on there. And yes, it's right. Just put Pokemon on there. And I can't help but remember a couple months ago, there was an auction where the first print Pokemon Blue, which has a misprint on the back that says Pokemon Red, that sold for more, very slightly more than a Pokemon Red in the same grade. And I was so excited for that. I'm like, God damn, Pokemon Blue is finally getting its day. I fully understand in the long term, people care about Charizard. It doesn't matter. Pokemon Red will be the more expensive game. But that Pokemon Blue misprint, I think, is so good. And the more we here at Collector's Quest keep jamming in people's heads that is one of the best games that is possible to collect, I think it's going to be top 10. And, I think it's going to be that if you spend $1 million on a sealed mint condition Pokemon Red, it's going to be really lonely without a sealed mint condition Pokemon Blue next to it.
I'm curious if Pokemon Yellow also doesn't get to that state. Look, I know, but we're talking the future, and I'm just looking at Pokemon as Pokemon, okay? And I think people will start to lump all three of them together, and that one's got Pikachu on it.
No, it doesn't matter. Pokemon that's B-list. Get out of here.
No, I don't. I disagree.
It's not a Gen 1 thing. It's an original release thing. It's just red and blue. Get out of here with this red, blue, yellow. Like, you might as well add Pokemon Green at that point.
No, because that didn't come out in America.
But it's the real one. Also, I didn't put this on. There were no Japanese games, no PC games, no historically important games that aren't tied to major franchises, which I think is correct. Like, as much as I love Japanese PC and historical games, I don't think they're going to be Mario levels of price ever.
No.
Also, the next time someone says that the market is going towards historical games and like things that are really influential, be like, so why isn't Wizardry the most important game? Because Wizardry is the most important game.
Because people played Wizardry and they're like, oh, never mind.
Johnny, also, I think Does Pokemon Emerald sometimes outsell Pokemon Blue? That's definitely the case in Complete in Box. Whatever the case is there, Pokemon Emerald in 20 years is gonna fucking fall off in July 2021, which is, I realize, the craziest time in video game history, probably that we'll ever have. A Pokemon Emerald sold for $72,000. $72,000 for Pokemon Emerald, and I know
wasn't even the big box. Wasn't
not
even
the big box. No, right? It's a 9.88 plus plus. It's a mint condition copy, but it's fucking Pokemon Emerald.
They probably ripped it out of a big box.
Oh my god! And then one just sold a VJ 95 a few months ago for $25,000, which is still crazy because late 2024 is not mid 2021 in terms of prices. People love Pokemon Emerald, and I think those people are going to die because everyone who loves Pokemon Emerald is like 30 years old right now, and in 20 years they're all going to be 50, so they're basically going to be dead, and this game will not be selling for $1 million.
They're going to be closer to my age than they are now.
Yeah, Johnny, you're on death's doorstep. We understand.
Oh, god damn. I've got a small child. I can't die.
I understand Pokemon Emerald is probably the peak of 2D Pokemon to a lot of people. Also, with Pokemon, like, rarity does not matter. I don't care what people say about rarity. Like, Pokemon Emerald sold like 7 million copies or something. Like, calling anything Pokemon rare is absolutely ridiculous. I think once we get to a point in 20 years where basically no one has played any of these games, which I know you think that's not going to be the case. In 20 years, essentially no one will have played Pokemon Emerald, when we're considering like half the market's going to be 20 and 30-year-olds. They're only going to care about Red and Blue, I think.
They're gonna have played Pokemon Mega Emerald or some bullshit.
I'm sure that's already been released. Has there not been a re-release of Emerald?
I don't know.
Maybe they've got that in their back pocket when they need to bust out another $150 million.
The next one coming out is, I think, focusing on Mega Evolutions, so we'll see.
Neither of their lists had Matt Mario. And that kind of goes in line with there's no Japanese PC or historically important games. I think that's the correct choice because I think at some point, if you're paying so much for a game, you're only going to accept it sealed because people in the sealed market kind of see sealed games as fundamentally different objects from complete in box games. I mean, this is like Tyler's opinion versus the sealed market opinion. I think whatever like the world's greatest Matt Mario, and I'm talking like the earliest date codes on the chips, you got the early manual, you got the right poster. Man, that would be better than a sealed gloss. I don't care what you say.
I don't know. Mario is still Mario, and like if you told me that this list in 20 years was like 4 Pokemon games or 3 Pokemon games, 2 Zelda or like 1 Zelda, and then 2 different versions of Super Mario Brothers, I would be like, okay, that makes sense.
To put Matt Mario into context, as someone, I'm going to say, of everybody listening to this podcast, including you, I have opened the most copies of Super Mario Brothers. I've opened over 200 copies of Super Mario Brothers, like cartridges, and specifically early print cartridges. And when you open up an early Super Mario Brothers cartridge, they're all from like the fall of 1986. I'm talking like the vast majority. And the early Super Mario Brothers cartridges are from the fall of 1985. So I realize this essentially doesn't matter because, it's not sealed, so it doesn't matter. But an original Matt Mario came out a year before the gloss sticker.
I know.
And I know it's early, but it's like, it's a middle print. It's not matte. And I think that makes it a lot less interesting.
I'm surprised they don't have a matte sticker on here.
I mean, people put such reverence on that. What are there 2 gloss sealed Marios? I mean, it's the rarest, earliest sealed one. It's the thing where like, if it's not sealed, it doesn't matter. And I realize Matte Mario is obviously a lot more common than a sealed gloss sticker Mario. And I agree that it won't ever be the price, but it's like, kind of like one of those things in the market that I disagree with. And I've seen the same thing in comics, where like they'll have a comic that comes out in 2 different months, and the most expensive copy will be the nicest one that came out in the later month. And it's just like, get out of here. The most expensive copy in the world should be the earlier one. But comics are different because they never came sealed. Johnny, last thing I got to say about their lists. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and Madden. I feel like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is It feels like a stupid pick to be in the top 10, but look at the price of sports cards compared to like video game people. Like what are like pure video game people? What is their grail? Like not pop culture oriented, not sports oriented, like something like Chrono Trigger. Like I realize there's also Mario and Zelda and all that, but the person buying Chrono Trigger is like a video game guy. And what's a sealed Chrono Trigger worth? Like $40,000? And like there's like a random sports card you've never heard of that's worth $40,000.
Lots of them.
So there's so much money in the sports market. There has to be sports games in the top.
Shohei Ohtani has already sold for $1 million.
That's fucking insane. He's all right. This is fucking insane.
Yeah.
There has to be sports games. I think there has to be multiple sports games on this list, and only Henry put them on this list. And I'm saying, Greg, what the hell are you doing? Sports people are insane. Like there's no comic games on either of these lists, which I mean, kind of right, but there has to be sports games because sports people are out of their minds.
All right, so maybe, but I think you can make the same case for all the Pokemon stuff. Because sports card people are moving over into Pokemon a lot right now. So I think that's going to drive up Pokemon. They're looking for places to go. I don't know if they'll ever come to games. Also, I think within 20 years, Mike Tyson will be dead. So we'll see what that death does to the price of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Sorry, Mike Tyson fans. I think that's probably
Johnny,
true.
Mickey Mantle's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny, a late print of Punch-Out sold for $300,000. Remember when that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's got something.
I can agree. I can agree with Mike Tyson Punch-Out. I don't know about Madden. That's going to take some special maneuvering to get a Madden into that rarefied air for me.
You see, like this is the case where it's like, but what is it? There has to be sports games on here, and like it's probably not FIFA. FIFA's a much bigger series than Madden, but like America's all that matters. So I'm sorry, it's not going to be FIFA. And I'm not saying that in a sense that where I just want to dump on Europe, which I do want to dump on Europe a lot, but in terms of like the big money, we're not talking about European games. We're not talking about Japanese games. The big money is stupid Americans who buy collectibles.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a Madden could make it in. Like, there's a great Madden. I always underrate Madden too, so I've got like a blind spot here. So it's possible. I don't know if I would put it on mine, just again because of the blind spot. Punch-Out, I can see maybe. I can squint and make it happen. Madden, I'm less sure about.
So I was dumping all over like Mega Man 1 as a top game. I like both Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and Madden. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, it's technically a sequel to an arcade game, but it is a real exclusive. It's one of the top games on the system, bar none. Everyone will agree with that. Yeah. Madden, technically it's not the first Madden because obviously we'd be talking about the Sega Genesis Madden. But the Sega Genesis Madden is the more historically important one, I think. That's the one that defined what sports games look like, going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love historical importance. I love that it's still relevant. There's still a Madden game coming out every year. So I do like Madden a lot. I think Madden's the one. I think Madden even more than Punch-Out maybe.
So another group of crazy collectors is weebs. We don't see a Final Fantasy on their list.
Is it because it's too common sealed? You should own a sealed Final Fantasy, by the way, before they get too crazy.
I know. I keep meaning to. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I keep waffling on whether I should buy it, and then something comes up, and I don't buy it.
I think it comes down to the fact that there's one Donkey Kong, and right now on just the Wada Pop Report, there's 127 Final Fantasies, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in the context of video games, like 127 is so many. Like the top pops are like 1,000, 2,000 for like the most common Grand Theft Auto games. So having 1 to 200 is a lot.
So Final Fantasy being driven drives in a lot of new collectors. I can see it kind of making it in. That gets into what our list. I think once there's more differentiation, like if someone like really nails down, like, oh, these are the earliest prints of Final Fantasy, and you can tell because of X and Y. I know they've already tried to do that, and I don't think there is enough to differentiate middle prints and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it needs something like that to happen.
I don't. I mean, I feel like we would have found it by now. People are
I
crazy.
I think so too. I think so too. I'm saying that's why this is like magical thinking. Something magical would happen.
So there are two American variants. One has the copyright that says USA and Canada, and then there's the other one that says that has Mexico. So it has like an extra line for like what is it, like warranty information on the side. And there's like an equal amount of both of them. So it's, if there was like two of the first print, then that would be exciting. That could be cool, but they're too common, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There needs to, like, someone would need to find a new variant of it. Like, oh, this is actually the early print one that only had these, and we only found like 3 of them.
I don't think it's going to happen, Johnny. I hate to tell you.
I don't think so. Look, I'm okay with it, but I'm saying I think in the realm of what's collectible, you could get there with Final Fantasy, but that's when we get into our list.
What did we not talk about? I think we talked about Super Mario 64. A game that famously sold for $1.56 million. Sure. It's not going to be the top game, but I think it is. It's basically it's showcase number 4 of video games. It's the start of the Silver Age. It's the 3D game. It's that or Doom, and it's probably not going to be Doom because Doom doesn't have Mario. Right?
Maybe. You don't think so? I don't think a Doom is going to make it?
We'll talk about Doom.
Okay.
It's a PC game. And then the other one, what else do we talk about? Legend of Zelda is obviously going to make it. Super Mario Brothers 3 Left Bros. I can't fight against it. It has a little bit of that Super Mario World, like it's a middle game. Like it's not the first. It's a very good game. Everyone who plays it loves it. The Left Bros version is rare. You know, like I think there's like a couple dozen of them floating around in on the pop reports. I don't feel strongly enough to like completely axe it and start a campaign against it.
No, I don't either. And it has collector mindshare, which a lot of these games don't have.
Yeah.
So, and it's a real thing. Like collecting is a bit of a mind virus. So, you know, when people get it in their head that this is the thing, once it becomes a thing, it's hard for it to become not a thing. It does happen. It can happen, but this is also a Mario game, and it's been a thing for a long time now. So it's going to be hard for me to say no, especially when there's a whole movie about going to play Super Mario Brothers 3 with the Power Glove.
So to be a little bit fair, when I think it was on our So You Want to Collect NES episode, this is probably like 7 years ago or something, we were talking about Left Bros, and we were saying that the price was virtually identical despite it being 10 times as rare.
Yeah.
So it hasn't always been a thing, at least in terms of regular collectors.
No, I mean in the mindshare of people, like not Left Bros, but Super Mario 3
absolutely.
As an object. You know, people have always loved Super Mario 3. People know Super Mario is like, okay, that's the first Super Mario, but Mario 3 is the one I love. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's always been in the like, Mario's great, but Super Mario 3 is the best Mario game ever made. Or you like, you know, Mario 64. So it has clout that a Mario 2 doesn't have, that all these other Mario games aren't going to get. So that's what I'm saying. It's been in the mind share for so long. And then when you got to distinguish it in a way I just described, like I would need something to happen for Final Fantasy, like a Left Bros of Final Fantasy. Super Mario 3 has that.
I think on a long enough time scale, again, like getting to an era where people haven't actually played these games, I think Mario 3 falls off in a top 10 sense because it isn't like, oh, it's just the first and I need like the checklist kind of key game type deal. Like I think this probably isn't the case, but in a long enough time scale where, you know, there's 400 sealed copies of Mario 3 and 200 sealed copies of Final Fantasy maybe becomes more important than Super Mario Brothers 3 because at least Final Fantasy is the key start of a series and Mario 3, you know, arguably a quote unquote key Mario game, but not nearly as important as the first Final Fantasy game.
Okay.
And people are going to say like, oh, they made a movie about it.
Sure.
But all right, I'm fine with Left Bros.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Left Bros is totally crazy. I'm not like you. I'm not fighting against it, and I can make a case for it, and I don't feel like I can make a case for everything else on this list.
Johnny, I put a section here on what I think a top game should be. I think everyone kind of either agrees with me or knows what I'm going to say here, but I think it needs historical importance in the medium of video games. I think it needs to be pop culturally relevant. It needs a Pikachu and Mario on it. I think it should be a true first release, meaning it's not a port, it's not the first US release, which I realize like I'm already out on the actual video game market because the first US release is generally what matters. I think it has to be a platform exclusive because once you have to like choose which version matters, it automatically becomes harder to make it the obvious top thing.
Okay.
And I think that gameplay is essentially irrelevant. I think a lot of people like will say like, well, Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers 3, they're some of the best platformers ever made. I think on a long enough time scale when no one has played these games and no one has read their comic books and no one is playing the Pokemon trading card game, it doesn't matter. All that matters is how the card makes someone feel or what the card represents.
Okay. I agree.
And I think, so when I say there's a true first release, I think that means a true first physical release. And that's why I think that there is, I don't know how you want to divide up video game eras. There is clearly an era in the 2000s and 2010s where the top games are things like Fortnite and Minecraft and Roblox. And none of those games have any kind of obvious, reasonable physical release. The Fortnite is not popular because people played the physical PS4 version. Minecraft is not popular because people played Minecraft Xbox 360 edition. These are kind of bullshit releases that I think will have value because people will be desperate to have an object to point to and be like, it's Minecraft. But there's always going to be a little bit of, but it's not really Minecraft. And like the people buying these, like if you're buying Minecraft or Fortnite right now, you're speculating on them right now. You are not the person who played Minecraft and Fortnite. You are trying to buy these to rope in the person in 20 years who will want to go back and buy the first release of Minecraft or Fortnite. And I don't think it's going to be as obvious as a buy as Super Mario Brothers, the physical game cartridge that literally everybody owned on NES.
That's fair. So what else are we talking about here?
So Future Man, I have a quote from Future Man that I wanted to bring up. I don't even remember what he said. He said,
you don't remember what he said, but you're going to quote him?
Well, yes. All right. So he said, while I was pondering making this episode, like when I was originally deciding, oh, should we make a what are the most collectible games episode going to be? Future Man said, here's our Ask the Podcast. So what you're really asking is what video game franchises are going to make it to 2050? Is that all that is? It's a nostalgia relevance cycle. Once we stop making Doom games, is Doom relegated to a historic curiosity?
Yeah.
So when you go back, and I always go back to comics, I realize, but if you think of the most expensive Golden Age relevant comics, there are a lot of comics from the Golden Age. It wasn't like Marvel and DC were the only comic companies. But what are the top franchises? It's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash. They all still exist. We're still getting comics. We're still getting movies. We're still getting video games. We're getting theme park rides and all this stuff.
Yes. And whenever they recycle the IP to the next generation, those are the ones they bring back. And then they try to layer in the bullshit characters after those.
But like Superman is important for so many reasons other than being like just he's the birth of superheroes, like important in the company history of DC Comics, like very important in the medium of comics. But if like the Superman franchise completely died in the year 2000, how about in Death of Superman? They kill Superman and never bring back the franchise. Like, does Action Comics 1 fall off in that case? Like, it shouldn't. It's still way too important. But if Superman is no longer relevant and we don't have the new Superman movie coming out, should Action Comics 1 fall off?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. It's too much in the mind share, I think, to let that happen.
I think so too. but I don't know. It really got me thinking, like, huh, yeah, like we only care about the things that are relevant. Because even when you think of video games, like we're talking about, Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, things that are still coming out and relevant, and like
I just
we don't
shit on
even
Mega Man for this.
Yeah, Mega Man, technically still coming out, relevant, questionable,
Kind of.
So Johnny, in this sense, here, let me make my first argument. The top franchises are often what determines the most collectible things. The top living historic franchises in a medium. So why the fuck isn't Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo a top 10 game of all time in terms of the highest sales? Mario Kart's the biggest Nintendo franchise.
I understand, but I think because it's still a proxy for Mario.
Not
I think
at all. It's bigger than Mario. Mario is just the game they have to put out so they could sell more copies of Mario Kart.
I understand, but we're talking about Origins because it came out of that. It's like, oh, well, what about Batman #1? Why isn't Batman #1 more expensive? It's like, well, because Detective Comics. Right.
No, those are the same franchise. Those are both Batman.
They're same kind of, but they're not the exact same thing. One is more important than the other.
One is more important.
There is the one, and then there are derivatives. And Super Mario Kart or Mario Kart becomes a derivative of Mario.
Hold on. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna come up with the counterexample. I just need some time to think of it.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying why I think this happens. I think the mindshare just thinks, oh, Mario, like it's a Mario thing. Though I did put over on my list, like, why isn't Mario Kart more important? Because it is the thing that drives Nintendo sales.
So I realize when we're talking about these top 10 sales, it's basically a few rich people that are determining everything, and what the little people think does not matter in this case. So I need some rich guy, some tech bro, to just go full force hyping Super Mario Kart, and I want, like, they can force it to be a top 10 game if they come with enough an argument. Like, the numbers are there. It's obviously, the series has the clout to be a top 10 game. If it almost comes down to, like, giving people permission to think that a Mario Kart game could be collectible, because I think, like, historically, one, it's a spin-off. Two, it's a kart racing game, which you wouldn't consider, like, an expensive, exciting game like an RPG might be. It's sort of like first-person shooters, just historically, not a collectible genre. Crysis is an important game, but no one collects Crysis. No one gives a shit about Crysis.
So the other thing I was going to say just about this, Tyler, is like Super Mario or Mario Kart's relevance has become even more prevalent recently, the last decade, since the Wii U, right? As the Mario Kart 8 became the thing. I think the case in 20 years, as that's more people have now Mario Kart, like the original Super Mario Kart, like got good reviews, sold a bunch of copies, had a player's choice and everything. But it didn't sell like these ones do. So the mindshare is as great as it's ever been. So I think there will be a case in 20 years for Mario Kart, because there will be more nostalgia for Mario Kart than there's ever been in 20 years than there is right now.
I mean, I think even right now, I went over, so my friend's house that I went to the Lake Geneva Wargaming convention with, his dad, his like retired late 60s dad, broke out a Switch and played Mario Kart with us. Like, he decided to do that. Like, Can you imagine if he broke out New Super Mario Brothers U? It just wouldn't happen.
No, I mean, it's also a friendlier game, right? Like, you just, people know how to drive a thing. It's easy.
Also, you're saying like this is a recent thing. Mario Kart DS, third best-selling Nintendo DS games, below Nintendogs and New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, but that was a portable.
But portable, it's outselling all the fucking Pokemon games.
I'm not making a case against Mario Kart. I just said it's going, like I'm saying, collectively, its mindshare has never been bigger. Yes, it did all of those things. It's been building. That's my point, Tyler. It's been building to a bigger and bigger thing. And now we're at like a giant crest of Mario Kart. So in 20 years, I'm making the case that yes, it can be. We
But
don't
20
disagree.
years ago was the top thing. It should already be the top thing.
No, because it's been growing slowly.
No, it's the best-selling Wii game besides Wii Sports. It's the best-selling GameCube game besides Smash Brothers. It's the top on every fucking console. It outsells fucking Zelda and Mario. Get the fuck out of here with Zelda. No one cares about Zelda. It's for losers. The real ones play Mario Kart because they can play with their mom. Because Mario Kart's a bullshit game that requires very little skill.
Easy to learn, hard to master. No?
Yeah, no, it definitely requires skill. The same person, even with all the bullshit in Mario Kart, my friend who like owns the game won every single race.
Imagine that.
It wouldn't happen in the arcade game. The arcade game's 100% random. Fuck the Mario Kart arcade game. Anyway, right. I'm a big... So let me come back to it this way. When we make fun of the $100,000 Tecmo Bowl sale a lot because it's very obviously a stupid sale.
It sure is.
Super Mario Kart sold for $150,000, like, yes, very crazy. That would be, it's an outlier. It's a big sale, but I wouldn't look at it like Tecmo Bowl and be like, that makes absolutely no sense. I'd be like, oh, all right. I understand what the buyer was thinking when they bought that.
Tecmo Bowl was a bunch of people in the 80s who loved Tecmo Bowl, and then they have some money and they got caught up in the video game thing and they went, fuck, I love Tecmo Bowl. And then they spent a bunch of money on Tecmo Bowl.
And now they're out there with their game. They're like, dude, you don't understand. There was a Family Guy segment on Tecmo Bowl. It's so pop culturally relevant. People know who Bo Jackson is.
Fucking Bo Jackson's the best. I mean, sure, if Super Tecmo Bowl is the better game and we can't fucking acknowledge that, that's fine.
All right. What else do I got here? I put the most played franchises that might still be relevant in 20 years, and I wrote Minecraft, Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Fortnite, Roblox, League of Legends, PUBG. So I think a lot of these problems, they don't have like a real good physical release. Like, I don't think Minecraft Xbox 360 edition is going to be $1 million game ever. Counter-Strike is a weird one because I don't think about Counter-Strike a lot, and it's almost always the most popular PC game at any given time, besides like League of Legends and World of Warcraft. Like on Steam, more people are playing Counter-Strike than anything else. There's just like 2 million people playing Counter-Strike at all times.
But those people will never have the money to spend $1 million on a game.
Very true, because they gamble it all away on Counter-Strike skins.
Yep.
Call of Duty, again, it feels same thing with Grand Theft Auto. It feels like they're not collectible franchises. Like people don't consider first-person shooters and action games nearly as collectible as platformers, 2D shooters, and RPGs for whatever reason.
They don't identify with the little character. They don't fall in love with it. I feel like you kind of get the same thing with Madden, except you don't have the sports backing, sports card backing. It's Madden without sports card collectors sitting behind it.
The thing is, Grand Theft Auto, like the later releases in the game, when you get into like, let's say Vice City, like the characters become pretty identifiable and relatable. It's just that in Grand Theft Auto 1, you're a fucking pixel dude with no name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Grand Theft Auto 1, the original PC release, I think that will do some crazy numbers one day.
I wrote GTA as a franchise that I think could crack $1 million.
Like Call of Duty, like, do you think Call of Duty's ever going anywhere?
I don't.
It just feels...
I feel like I don't think it's going to be in the dumpster where it is now. I think one day maybe people turn around. But also, I think it's like a franchise that could miss 2 or 3 years and they could just not do it and then go away, and then people would just be on to the next thing because they just require a shooter.
They would just be like, oh, it's a Battlefield year now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I very much agree with you. All right. So what I was saying by getting into this is like, these are the games that could kind of go through the same comeuppance that, like a Super Mario 64 had in terms of how important they are. It's just like, in my small brain 2025 mind, I don't see these getting to the level of like the NES games.
No.
Like not even in the same universe.
So I put GTA could, I put Mario Kart could. These are ones I have marked as possibilities.
And of course, you mean the first release of GTA being the UK PC release, or the UK PC Collector's Edition, even?
Yeah, I probably mean the PS1 copy.
So the UK PC one that has not the Take-Two Interactive, the ASC games, I think. Yeah, it's the one you want, guys.
Yeah, trust me.
Or the original US release, which is in that weird box with the car on it, and it doesn't have the yellow warning text in the top left or right of the box.
Or I mean the PS1 copy that comes with the map.
No one wants this. The PC ones have maps too. I think every GTA game comes with a map.
Yeah,
it's a franchise.
Little inserts on PS1 games are special. They're not special on PC games.
That's right, because every PC game is just such a delight to open in the 90s because they all come with stuff.
Yeah, or they're just big empty boxes of air and disappointment.
Okay. All right, Johnny, we're basically getting into my notes for the old episode that I started writing stuff down, and then I'm like, there's nothing here. It's just the obvious picks, but we could briefly go through.
I mean, we discussed a lot of this.
Yeah, let's make our top 10 list.
Okay. Let's do the easy thing. Super Mario Brothers, right? Where we both agree.
Unopened first Famicom print. That's the one with the locking tabs on the box, no UPC on the back, and the errata insert that mentions a point difference. There's like a typo with the amount of points you get for stomping a Goomba or something. That's going to be the number one selling game of all time, right?
Yep. And remember, these never actually came sealed, so be careful when people tell you that. You're going to really want to check those flaps.
Okay. I think a gloss sticker Mario remains. So you think in 20 years we're going to have another sale of one? I think so. Because I think that the guys who own it now, like at least one of them is going to retire and want to just cash out of that for, however many millions of dollars they're going to get.
Yep.
So I think in 20 years that will be the top selling game.
I think that's one. I also don't have a problem having a matte sticker seal on there. I think a matte sticker seal. I think there's enough collectory dumb brains like us out there who could fight over a matte sticker seal if it came up.
I think it's. I think that the sealed market is too different. I think that some people get in their minds that sealed games are all that matters. I think that late print sealed games are stupid because they came out years after the original print and they're still going for big money. Like the most expensive Mike Tyson's Punch-Out that ever sold for $300,000 was a late print, which I think is crazy. That's like spending $1 million on the absolute mintest 41st print of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It's like ridiculous.
I'm gonna make this argument and see if you disagree or not. Fight me. I think in 20 years, the importance of sealed games will not diminish necessarily, but I think CIB games will become more important because if the grading market is going to thrive, and our hypothesis is that we're riding into a bull market where any of this is even possible, and games are still collectible objects, right? That means for graded games, CIB needs to come up. It's already started to happen. It needs to have greater import. We're going to have better knowledge, better tools. I think CIB games will start to take over because there will be more of them. And if the hobby is to continue, we need people grading CIB games. We need more people sending those in. So CIB is going to take over, at least in an accessibility and acceptability standpoint. So you could put a Mario matte sticker on there and it can reach even sealed levels.
I don't know how much I agree. I think obviously CIB grading will increase in prominence just because all grading, like people are going to run out of sealed stuff to send in and they're going to start sending in more stuff because you got to grade stuff to make money. The video game market is weird as a collectible because the top stuff has to be sealed things. They're like, some of the games are 100 times rarer sealed than they are complete in box. Like obviously people opened their video games. Again, it comes down to the accessibility. There's one sealed Donkey Kong. So that has to be worth a huge order of magnitude more than a complete box Donkey Kong.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's not why I'm saying all CIB, because there aren't that many matte sticker seals. We're talking about the nicest matte sticker, right? I keep saying sealed, but the nicest matte sticker is going to come up. And I think it's going to fetch that kind of money because it's not really accessible. And people will be thinking about CIB games as something that is okay to buy and grade because that's just going to become more prominent. And so this thing will have that magical rarity of not availability, and it will be the first thing.
I think there is truth to that, but I think that putting so much importance on the first release, which I think should be the thing that's the most important over the best condition. I don't think that's how the top end normally thinks. If you look at the top games that have ever sold, and I realize this will change over time, but a lot of the top games are not first releases. They're just the nicest copy. And I think Joe with $1 million to spend, who doesn't really care that much, who thinks that TMs and Rs and circle seals and oval seals are kind of nerd shit for collectors, just wants the nicest copy of something, and he doesn't care if it's the 41st print of the Great Gatsby. He just wants the nicest copy of the Great Gatsby.
Yeah, see, but that's not true with books.
I know it's not true in books, but pop culture collectors are dumb as fuck. What can I say?
I mean,
they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on sports cards.
Hold on. But books are pop.
Okay, yeah, you're
collectors.
Right.
So,
you're right.
Like, what are we talking about? The books were pop culture before we had TV. It's like, come on, people who are like old book snobs act like they're like, oh, you're just into pop culture. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you like Jane Austen. You think that shit isn't fucking pop culture? Get over yourself. All right. Anyways, but my Moby Dick was sure. Anyways, we can agree to disagree. But I think it's possible. I'm not putting it outside the realm of a possibility thing, and I would put it more likely than less likely that it could happen.
I just think at the very top end, like if you're the kind of guy who is going to buy 20 video games in your life, or 10 or 5, like the realm of complete in box in general just must seem like poor people stuff, and so you only want sealed at that point.
I agree, but then again, when you're like, okay, that's why there's so few of these, and you're like, oh, this is the original. Like, I think someone could be talked into it. That's all. I
think so. I think like obviously like the highest graded Matt Mario, especially if someone pieces together the right one. I'm talking like definitely the right manual, the right poster, maybe even the date chips, although that I think is probably too collector-y shit.
I don't know. I think if Heritage can put that and be like, and it's got the earliest date codes ever seen, you know?
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah. So like, I think that's what I'm saying. I think it's possible. I don't think most CIB games could ever do that. This is the one where I'm saying it could happen.
So basically all the Matt Marios that sell are bullshit. Like if you look at Heritage auctions, like they all have bullshit. The late print manual.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like you're going to open them up. They're going to have all the cartridges are replaced because people are trying to grade them. So they replaced them all with early print cartridges. And let me tell you, those are all from late 1986. Those are not the early cartridges because no one has like a nice, or like you could obviously just swap the PCB out. But in your graded copy of Matt Mario, I guarantee you there's a cartridge from 1986 because people just put in the nicest copy they could find.
Break that shit open and make it right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we agree on gloss. I think we agree that maybe it could happen, though I'm more bullish on it than you on a matte sticker seal. All right. What else do we got? We agree The Legend of Zelda TM.
Yeah. Legend of Zelda TM, already one of the top games. Kind of disappointing sales recently, I think. I think this is sold for $300,000. Ridiculous to call this disappointing. It was like the highest graded copy, I think. What was it? It was a 9.2A, sold for $375,000 last year. Is that the highest graded copy? Because in 2021 at Peak Madness, a 9.0A, which is a shit copy. Oh, it's a second print? A second print sold for $900,000? Holy shit.
All we need to be is in that bubble again. So like, yes, Zelda, like, I don't think we need to justify it. Even with these disappointing ones, I think, again, we're returning to a bull market. Then yes, Zelda's going to make it.
It's going to make it. And yeah, I don't, the Famicom version has nothing on this. This is, so like people are like Japanese speculators are trying to find a unopened first print Super Mario Brothers. Like that's something that everyone has a save search for. And of course it's both very expensive and you're very likely to get scammed from Japan because they just call anything that looks nice new. Whereas The Legend of Zelda, there are a lot of early print Famicom Disk System versions. Not the earliest print, but the kind of the earliest print that matters. So it has the yellow Famicom Disk System text instead of the white text. The way to tell even earlier Zelda prints would be, one, to look at the inserts. So the one that had the common sealed early print, the one that's sold by Hawkpock on Yahoo Auctions, that has a green insert, and that's kind of a middle early print. There's one that comes before that has a white insert, and you can see the inserts through the clear Famicom Disk System case. So even sealed, you can tell the inserts. The white insert would come first, which of course I have one sealed. If anyone wants to come at me with $3 million, we can talk. But the white insert date code is after the release of The Legend of Zelda. So I think the earliest Legend of Zelda would be yellow text with no insert. Does anybody care? No.
Nope.
And sure I don't think, even if one of those came up, it's not going to go nearly as much as the first print US one. And, I'm a little bit like, everything should be Japanese, everything is better. But like the NES box of Legend of Zelda is so much better than the Famicom system. It has such a presence to it,
Yeah. It is a pop culture item that people see and understand. It has relevance, and so it's got a lot going for it in that realm as well. So we agree, Zelda. We agree on Pokemon Red and Blue.
Wait, let me just get our monthly plug out of the way, guys. If you don't have a first print US Zelda in the TM box, these are like $400 to $1,000, which yes is a lot of money. Evergreen. It is always going to be one of the absolute best things to own in video game collecting. Even if that price doesn't say it right now, you could say like, oh, but Hagane costs like thousands of dollars. The Legend of Zelda first print US copy will always be one of the best video games to own. You should go buy one. Just get it. It's never going to be better than it is now. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah. Like basically any game we put on this list, if you don't own this, a nice copy, complete in box, you should wonder if maybe you should.
So I understand, like Matt Mario, like a nice Matt Mario is multiple thousands of dollars. Like I understand if you just say fuck it, but if you can get a Zelda for $500, go get a Zelda for $500.
But I'm saying even on that Mario, it's like fine, you can't get a Matt, but maybe you should go get a Hang Tab.
Go get a Hang Tab. Yeah, that's the one. I also think Hang Tab Super Mario Brothers always will be one of the best games you could own. Yeah, in terms of like a generally attainable thing that you could possibly own.
So, Pokemon Red and Blue, like what are we doing? Go buy those.
It's crazy that they don't have Pokemon Blue, but yes, we're both putting Pokemon Blue on our list.
Insane. I've already told you, I'm in a world where Yellow can make it with the Pokemon Rise. What it's been like, Pokemon is insane. So I would never put anything past Pokemon people.
So let me give you an argument against Yellow. Pokemon cards are the hottest thing on the planet. Like are we at peak Pokemon? Like, are we going to look back and be like 2025 is the biggest Pokemon ever has been?
So we are, right? But I don't know if so there has like, well, maybe unlike video games. So there's always been these like crests and then these falls and these crests and these falls. But it never, like with video games, it never goes back to like, they think, oh, this crash. It's not really a crash. It's a correction. And then it moves back up. And that's what all Pokemon has done is its trajectory has been up. They never hit like that weird plateau period where like we were for like 4 years with video games. That shit never really happened. They had a decline and then kind of like a steady re-rise. That hasn't happened. We'll see. We're going into an era where Pokemon card collecting is going to be dangerous because now the manufacturer, Pokemon Company, is finding ways to kind of meet demand, which has not been meetable before.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens now that they're starting to meet demand. But there's more collectors in it and more investors in it than there's ever been. So it's a very volatile period. So I think if we're set for a crash, it could be coming. But I'm unsure because, again, I don't have enough experience in the Pokemon market when there's been corrections. But I would say now is kind of like the riskiest era to be buying in.
So my argument against Pokemon Yellow is that we're in this crazy time for Pokemon.
Yes.
We're talking the Japanese promo cards and Pikachu Illustrator and first generation Charizards, things like that, selling for multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. And these people spending this crazy money on cards that don't even have like extremely low populations. Like Charizard is not a rare card, even first edition. They're not spending crazy money on the games. They see it as a different thing, which is crazy to me. If I was spending even, let's say, tens of thousands of dollars on any Pokemon card, before I bought any Pokemon card, the thing I would want is the game. The game is more important than the trading card game. And they don't sell for the same money as the cards. And I don't care how common any of this stuff is. All the Pokemon stuff is not nearly as rare as the prices would indicate.
I just think that there's enough overlap as collectibles, alternative investments, alternative assets become more in vogue. If we're in this market in 20 years, and that's true some more, I think people might get big brained on it and be like, okay, well, Pokemon, I just look, if a Tecmo Bowl can be what it was, you're telling me we don't live in 20 years, we're not in a world where yellow sells for $1 million?
Guys, whoever bought that Tecmo Bowl, I know there's some fucking rich guy or speculator bought that Tecmo Bowl. You live in our head rent-free. It was one sale that happened like 4 years ago, and we won't stop talking about it because that's how bad we think your purchase was.
Yeah, this guy listens to Collector's Quest. He's like, man, I did the thing. I started collecting. And he's like, and then they shit on me every episode for my fucking purchase. I'm telling you, Tecmo Bowl is awesome. I don't even hate Tecmo Bowl. I think it's a very collectible NES game. However, that was just such a crazy price. But I mean, it's not just Tecmo Bowl. Tecmo Bowl is just kind of become the emblem for a lot of the purchases of that era. It's just a very easy, fun one to point at.
All right, Johnny, we haven't said anything groundbreaking here. Mario, Zelda, Pokemon. Yeah. Number 4, I'm going with a game I don't particularly love, Nintendo World Championships Gold. They didn't mention it, but I think it's on the list.
I think it's on the list too. Gold, gray, something like that is going to happen. I agree.
No, great. Get out of here with your gray. Gold is in the NES set, Johnny. It's an officially available game. You just had to go win it. Grays are stolen. They don't count for the set. Get out of here with that.
Stolen art is the best art.
Do you want, you want a hot take? This is not going to be true, but in the 20 years, it could happen. What if the Famicom Super Mario Brothers prototype, I think Frank Cifaldi has it. I don't know if he sold it already. What if that comes up for auction? Could that outsell even a matte Mario, or not a matte Mario, a gloss sealed Mario?
No.
No?
No.
Because original comic art will outsell high grade comics.
Yeah, but people don't care about prototypes. Something would need to shift.
Dude, people don't care about prototypes.
Sure
and it's because a lot of prototypes are pretty ugly. But yeah, people don't care about prototypes, man.
I don't care about... Look, remember in Nintendo age when people tried to hype prototypes and there was like this group of people buying and selling them, but it never felt like hot shit. There was too many... All the normies were like, that's cool, and then just widely ignored it.
Yeah, prototypes are definitely nerd collector shit, and I don't think nerd collector shit is top 10 level. No. Although, here I am talking about Nintendo World Championships Gold, but I mean, it's sold for $400,000, so I feel like, that we have to give it its due here.
Yep. I don't disagree.
It is overrated and iconic, I said. So, yeah.
Yep, I have it on my list as well. All right. Where are we going after that? You have Super Mario Kart. You think that's going to make it?
It's the most underrated collectible video game.
I agree. I agree that it should be there.
I don't think it's going to make it, but I want it on my list because it should. I'm not making the list that I think should be, but Super Mario Kart is too fucking important. It's on my list.
Yeah. So in counter to that, I don't disagree with you, and I made the case why I think it's going to be better earlier. I'm going to put in my heart lives on. I'm going to put Final Fantasy there.
Also, for all you people who are like, Mario Kart 64 is the better game. Everyone remembers Mario Kart. No one goes back and plays Super Mario Kart anymore. In 20 years, no one will have played any of these games. Okay, yep, again, the gameplay doesn't matter. I realize Super Mario Kart, by the way, super good game. The only challenging Mario Kart. But regardless of that, it only matters for what it represents. The gameplay absolutely does not matter. Nostalgia absolutely does not matter when we're talking decades into the future. I mean, it will still matter only 20 years in the future, but the further you go out, the less it matters.
It's true. All right.
Stadium events, Johnny. You think it's 20 years? No. No. Not a chance. I don't think anything rare has a chance.
It's the Honest Wagner of games.
I think Nintendo World Championships is going to be the rare, exciting one. That's kind of iconic.
Nope. This is I told you this. I had my argument set. This is my Honest Wagner pick. I don't like you fucking, I'm the biggest stadium events hater there is. I just like, and I keep being proved wrong over and over again. It's a little bit stagnant right now, but it just like it only takes one big brain idea to be like stadium events. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't.
It
Okay,
is
I'm
so much
rooting
more
against it.
likely than Sculptor's Cut. I don't care how much rarer Sculptor's Cut is.
Does not matter.
Greg,
It's
you're
never gonna be
canceled. Get off my podcast.
It's not sculpture. It has none of the cachet.
We talked about Super Mario World. I don't think I don't think it's gonna make it. I mean, I think it's gonna be like top 20 or something. I don't think it's gonna be top 10 most biggest sales.
Yeah, I think Super Mario World does not make it either.
We're going back to Digipress here. Johnny, do you think anything Atari is gonna make it?
No.
You think Air Raid's gonna be up there? Maybe some
No.
Birthday Mania?
No. You know what was more likely? A really cool version of fucking Pitfall.
Ooh. I want a sealed Pitfall. I've lost a few auctions on that. I'm not good at winning auctions because it turns out when you buy sealed games, people will just bid fucking anything against you. Yeah, I think those are curiosities. I think stadium events becomes a curiosity. I think, one of the more interesting curiosities, but it's not going to be, Atari level. Like, people don't know what Air Raid is. I realize everyone listening to this podcast knows what Air Raid is, but in general, people don't know what Air Raid is. I think stadium events goes further down that path.
Okay.
Johnny, fucking Doom. Do you think a PC game has any chance of breaking into the world of collectible games? Because right now there's nothing on PC. Like, PC is garbage.
Not a shot.
Not a shot.
Not a shot.
It is iconic. It's a game that people bring up in like the sense of like Pong. It's just like such an obvious, historically important game. You could say Doom and people know exactly what you're talking about. It has relevance as like pop culture and meme relevance. People are like, oh, you got a smart fridge? You're going to run Doom on it? People think about Doom.
I know. And in 20 years, those people will be dead.
God, that's true. Guys, we're all gonna be dead in 20 years. I don't care how old you are. You're like 23 years old listening to this podcast.
You're dead.
Sorry, you're gonna be dead. Think about those knees. You got some good knees right now. Not in 20 years, you don't. Doom is a very obviously an incredibly significant game. Top 10 in terms of significance. It's up there with Mario Brothers and Pong.
Super important game. Like, if any PC game has a shot, I think it's like Doom. Like Doom, it's got to be like a Doom, a WoW, or like a Diablo. Like, it's got to be something in that realm.
Yeah, I don't think Diablo has a shot. I think WoW has a shot.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it does. I'm saying I'm saying it has to be something that has such a giant cultural mind share. And there's nothing really to collect for World of Warcraft. That's why I bought that pre-order box, because I was like, I think this is the thing that I want to represent World of Warcraft for me.
So Doom has the Donkey Kong thing going on, where the original release was mail order only. And it's uncommon for a game, it's kind of like that Super Mario World thing where like, how is such a significant game uncommon? It doesn't make any sense. And then sealed, they're very rare. They've already sold for over $10,000 sealed, which for a PC game, a personal computer game, they do not sell for 5 digits. So I think it's a long shot. It's the only PC game I think would ever make it. And realistically, I don't know. We'd need a special person who thinks that PC games are real, because a lot of people don't think PC games are real. Also, like arcade games, just like not real. There's probably arcade people listening to this podcast like, oh, you don't remember in 1982 this was actually the most significant. No one cares, dude. Your Defender cabinet is going to be worth $1,000 forever. I'm sorry, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, just go back to that Digipress article.
Yeah,
from not even 20 years ago, and read through that list where people are like, oh, you know what I think is going to be the best, and then how wrong they were.
Dude, I agree. Like, Defender and Robotron are some of the coolest games ever, and Zoomers don't even know what those games are. So I'm sorry, they're going to be in the dumpster in 20 years.
I just want you to know, and like things like Rogue, all these people know Roguelike. They don't even know Rogue is a game.
It's true. There are probably people who don't know that Castlevania Symphony of the Night is the namesake of the Metroidvania genre.
No, they don't.
Johnny, World of Warcraft Collector's Edition, and you could put whatever version you want. You put the small box first print, they're a stupid pre-order thing. World of Warcraft is a large game.
Yep.
I think and it's a very historically significant game. It's the most significant MMO, as much as it pains me to say, over like
Absolutely.
Ultima Online or RuneScape. It's World of Warcraft's most significant MMO, and it's a lifestyle game, meaning the people that play it played it for
Still
20
playing it.
years.
Still playing it. My buddy, guy, love him. He's still playing WoW. He won't come play cards with us on Saturday because he's fucking raiding.
It's raid night,
Okay,
dude.
he's still raiding. He's been raiding since it started. He's still raiding. There's nothing left to raid. You've done the things. There are no worlds to find. It's over. Whatever treasure there was, you got it. Stop raiding. It's over. But he's still raiding.
So the problem with World of Warcraft, I think it's very hard to care about World of Warcraft if you didn't live through the 2000s and 2010s. I think if you're looking back at World of Warcraft in 20 years from now, let's say, I don't think World of Warcraft will die. I think it'll be around in some form, but it's not going to be a thing where every single person you've ever talked to has played it. And so I don't think it's going to be.
There will be a new World of Warcraft. It'll come out. There'll be some new hot buzz around it. There'll be a big documentary about the lives that were lost and ruined by World of Warcraft. It'll be like some director makes like a lifestyle piece about it, like maybe like a 5-episode docuseries or something on the lives of World of Warcraft players, and then it'll see its resurgence. And maybe that way, maybe through something like that, we could get it. But yeah, that's the only way.
This is a gross exaggeration of what I think will happen, but you listening to this podcast right now, like, what do you think of EverQuest? A game that has 40 expansions, very historically significant game. Everybody played it at some point before they played WoW, but you would never be like, oh, EverQuest Big Box PC Sealed is obviously one of the top 2 PC games you could possibly own.
It's the Atari of MMOs,
which is crazy because it's from the 90s. it's like it's outdated, but it's not like,
Atari was still kicking it around when the NES came out. So it's and look how we look at these two things.
So I'm kind of down on World of Warcraft, and I still think that puts it as probably the number 2 PC game to own next to Doom, which is saying something about how much faith I have in people collecting PC games.
Not on your list.
World of Warcraft isn't. Doom is going to crack it just because I'm hopeful that people will consider computer games real video games one day. Okay. And watch how, like, in 20 years, like, Doom on, like, the Super Nintendo cracks the list. They're like, oh, I got the real version of Doom. The one that runs at 20 frames a second with, like, shitty music.
Oh, no, I got that one on the N64. It's really good.
I put this as a thought experiment, but I don't think it's real.
Absolutely
Half-Life
not. No.
/ the physical release of the original Counter-Strike.
No.
Counter-Strike 1.6.
You know what it would take? It would take for Half-Life 3 to come out. And that's not happening.
It's been too long. I don't think people would care about Half-Life 3.
No,
I mean, they would, but like it would be a different generation of gamers coming in being like, oh, what's this?
You would need to convince people you would have to re-educate people what Half-Life is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the average person playing Battlefield 6. Is that the one that's coming out? Like, they haven't played Battlefield 1942.
Yeah. Like, Half-Life 20 years ago was one of the most important games ever made.
I mean, it still is. Like, in terms of, see, that's the thing. But
you didn't have to convince anybody. Like, everybody just knew that. That was just things we all knew.
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy that people are growing up and they don't know what Half-Life is. Because right now you like go through a video game and you expect it to be like this fully immersive narrative experience. And like Half-Life started that. Half-Life starts you on a fucking tram for 5 minutes and you don't shoot anything. And that was like an absolute revolution in 1998.
Yeah.
Oh man, Half-Life's good. There's no chance of top 10, obviously. I only put Counter-Strike because it's the most popular game on Steam, but like again, like that is a weird different market that you don't understand. It's basically Roblox. Like those people live in their absolute own world. They don't even know what's going on. They don't know what collectible video games are.
My argument for any of these things possibly making it, there's an insane world where mobile games where people just pay insane money for like just weird mobile skin shit. So if any of those people just turn over and actually decide to look at a physical video game, any amount of money could be paid for a video game.
I guess, but they're not. If you're on your phone, you're too absorbed in your phone. You don't have time to be thinking about collecting stuff.
No, maybe your assistant can do it for you.
Johnny, This was one that people were complaining about in the comments section of Greg's video. Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Nope. No shot.
Johnny,
sorry, Tennessee.
There are...
If you get that reference, I love you.
I don't get that reference.
Not you. That was not for you.
There are some big obvious ones. So that, let's say in card games, you've got, let's say, Magic the Gathering and Pokemon are the top card games. And those are like Mario and Zelda. And then you have Sonic the Hedgehog, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the third most popular thing, and it's basically for kids, and it will never be collectible. And that's an exaggeration, but I think Sonic is basically Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't think Sonic is making it. I think Sonic should be more important, but I don't think it's making it. Sorry, my Sega people.
I mean, I think it's going to be up there in importance. I think Sonic is still a very iconic and big character.
I'm just not making... Look, you know what else isn't making it for me? Metroid or Castlevania. Okay? Yeah, exactly. All things I love a whole lot more than fucking Sonic. And have both produced better games. The best Castlevania is better than the best Sonic. Okay, the best Metroid is better than the best Sonic. In fact, the both of those franchises, the best of those franchises, are better than any Sonic the best two Sonic games put together, in my estimation. That's just me. That's how much I revere and love those games. So this is just my opinion coming out. So I'm not putting those on my list. So sorry if you're offended I didn't put Sonic on there. I just don't think it's making it. I think the public is going to agree with me. I'm not going to be mad though if someone crazy and like makes Sonic because they want to just bring that back and they love Sonic that much, and he is well loved. I'm not saying he's a more loved franchise than Castlevania. I just don't see it happening. I'm not going to be mad though if it does, just to be clear.
All right, I think this is a minor point that I'm the only one who brings up, and I constantly bring it up. Sealed Genesis games feel like garbage.
Trash.
And I think that there has to be some impact of that. Anyone, like maybe whoever's buying this has never touched a video game in their life. But if you have handled Sega Genesis games versus NES games, if you have a sealed NES game, it is like packed in there. It feels like a solid object. It's incredible. And if you have a sealed Genesis game, there's a manual like just flopping around inside there. It's not in mint condition. It's the equivalent of having a sealed disc game with a loose disc, but that's every sealed Genesis.
Every single. I was going to bring up that exact example. I was going to tell you, like every Genesis game feels like a CD game or DVD game where the disc is loose, and it feels fucking awful.
And the shrink wrap on Genesis games is lower quality than Nintendo shrink wrap.
And and the hang tab fucks it up.
Yep.
It's just nope.
It's just the thing where like it looks and feels like you're paying if Sonic genuinely becomes like a top 10 game, let's say, you're paying a $2 million premium for like this really shitty shrink wrap on a game that's definitely not in gem mint condition if you would have opened it. Man, and I think that's a very big different feel from having a gem mint Super Mario Brothers seal.
So Genesis games, the hang tab clamshell Genesis games look a lot better opened. Sorry.
Yeah, and they're also the most overrated box, as we've discussed on our rating box episode.
And fucking no. Genesis boxes are not good. Sorry to tell you people.
And then Johnny, I think Super Mario 64 just makes it because one is already sold for a ridiculous price, and I think that's gonna I think there's this thing where like if it has already made a historic price, it's not gonna drop back down to $5,000.
It's in the memory. It's in the collective memory. So yeah,
it's the start of the silver age of video games, and even though it's not golden age, I think it just makes it. And then because there has to be sports games on the list, Johnny. Sports people are fucking insane. So what are your sports picks? I refuse to accept any list you have without sports games. I think Greg's list had 11 games, no sports games, or did he have Punch-Out on there? 11 games, no sports games? Greg, the sports people have so much money, they'll just blow it. There's got to be something on there.
So like we say the same thing for Pokemon people, but you countered that by saying they just don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, but the Pokemon games are on the list.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm going to say, if I have to pick one, I think it's likely going to be a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, White Bullets, because Mike Tyson has died.
I hate it. Only because.
Also, I have stadium events, which is technically a sports game.
All right, you do have that, but that's not what a sports game guy's gonna get. Bye.
I know.
Does Mike Tyson I don't know how boxing works. Mike Tyson's cultural relevance is going to carry forward 20 years.
He's still relevant. So
he is still relevant. Yeah.
And so all the YouTube boxing channels, when they're like comparison, doesn't he, not even a heavyweight, just like when someone is like devastating and kind of small, they're like, he's the Mike Tyson of this, like all the YouTube videos, he is still clickbait. Like you put, this is the new Mike Tyson about any boxer. It's still the clickbait for boxing YouTube.
That's crazy.
So, yep.
Imagine if people were still doing that with like Bobby Orr in hockey or, I don't know, David Robinson. I think that Mike Tyson might be more important in his field than either of those guys, as big as they are. Yeah,
it was the golden era of heavyweights too. It's the most prestigious belt. Being a heavyweight. It's the jewel of all the weight classes. And he was the guy in the golden era of that time. So, and people are gonna like, oh, well, how about all this, like all that? But pop cultural relevance and everything. There was just Mike Tyson's Punch Out and Nintendo coming together at exactly that time. Ali, yeah, like boxing had more of a mind share, probably amongst like more households in general, but just the numbers don't support anything but Mike Tyson.
So. It has everything going for it in terms of video game. It's on NES, which, like it or not, that's a really big pro for a video game being expensive.
It's supposed to be a black box game.
It's supposed to be a black box game, but also it has a very rare sealed first print in terms of the white bullet, very rare identifiable first print, which does make it very exciting and expensive. And it is, one of the most beloved things. So I think it does have everything going for it. I think it's top 10. And I think Greg is wrong for not including it. As much as I don't think, in the grand scheme of like video games in general, Mike Tyson's Punch Out should not be top 10, but I think a sports guy would put it top 10 easily.
Yeah.
And then I think John Madden Football also makes it for reasons I've already said. It's too iconic of a franchise, and someone into football. If you were like a football guy and you need to buy a video game, what's it going to be? Like, what would you pick in any sport? What are you going to pick besides these two? Like, you're not going to buy Tony Hawk's Pro Skating. Michael Jordan is like the biggest athlete ever, but are you going to buy Jordan versus Bird 1-on-1 on the Commodore 64? Like, is that going to be a top 10 game? I don't think that's going to be a top 10 game.
No. Imagine if like NBA Jam was like Michael Jordan's NBA Jam or some shit.
Like, I guess, yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, like, can you imagine like how much more relevance that would have?
Meanwhile, Michael Jordan like wrote himself out of video games.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what the N7 variant of Tecmo Super NBA Basketball is. Michael Jordan removed himself from that video game.
This one's so cool because it doesn't have the best player ever.
Yep. I mean, Tiger Woods on PlayStation, that's not going to be the game. There's nothing. Like, Wayne Gretzky has multiple hockey games. I don't think like the Bethesda PC games are going to be the iconic sports games. I don't think the N64 game is going to be the iconic sports game. Kind of Mike Tyson and Madden are what we got.
Yep.
Good picks. Good picks on Henry. Bad picks on Greg for not including them.
So here, I don't think Madden's going to make it. I think there is a chance. I love this idea of an alternate world though, where Michael Jordan, it was just like Michael Jordan's Jam or something. And that was instead of NBA Jam, and that game would have just been one of the biggest games ever.
It's gotta be, I think it has to be an NES. I think like even Genesis Super Nintendo is too late to be top 10. Sorry, Genesis Nintendo.
Here is what I'm apologizing to these games which don't make it, even though first, let me just go back through the list. Okay. We got Super Mario Gloss, Zelda TM, Pokemon Red and Blue, Nintendo World Championships Gold. I have a Final Fantasy in there. We've got a Mario Kart in there. I have a Stadium Events, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, White Bullets, we both agree. Super Mario 64, we agree. And then you have a Madden. I don't have that on my list. So
don't forget about my Doom.
Oh, sorry, Doom. I put it off to the side. Doom also on your list, not on mine. I think there's a shot. It has a shot list. My apologies to you. I hope you get your flowers and everything. Doom on there. I want it to make it. A Minecraft. I don't think it will, but I do want a Minecraft to make it.
I try to rationalize in my mind how it can happen, and the only thing that can happen is Minecraft Xbox 360 edition. And
I don't think it's likely. Again, this is my hope, my hopes and dreams list. I hope there's a GTA that makes it. I hope there's a Metroid. I hope there's some revelation.
There's no way. Metroid, get out of here with Metroid.
Look,
that's not even close to a chance. I think Minecraft will definitely be very more prominent in 20 years, but Metroid.
I said I don't think. I just hope. This is my hopes and dreams list. Like, you can put Castlevania on there as well, but I know that's not happening. I hope Pokemon Yellow gets in there. I think there's a real shot. So beyond my just hopes and dreams, I think Pokemon Yellow has a shot. Super Mario World, I hope makes it on there. I think it has a shot. Super Mario Brothers Left Bros, I think has a shot. More than my hopes and dreams, I think it has a shot. Madden, I think it has a shot. And I think Metal Slug could sneak on there just because Neo Geo people aren't the same as us. We are not the same thing. And I don't understand them, and I'm not going to pretend to. Or the money they have. I don't know what they look like in 20 years, but if you told me that Metal Slug, a thing that still is very expensive, continued to rise in expense, I would not be shocked.
While I was writing notes for this episode, I showed my wife some gameplay of Metal Slug, and I asked her, "Do you know what game this is?" And she said no. And then I said, "It's Metal Slug. Have you ever heard of that?" And she also said no. And I realized only takes two people to make a stupid price, or one person bidding against the seller. But you see, it doesn't have to be the most important historic thing, but I think that when you're spending crazy money on a video game, if it's something like Metal Slug, the fact that it's not the most pop culturally relevant thing weighs on what you're willing to pay for it, even though you're just buying it for yourself.
All right. That's our list. We talked through. I want you tell us where we were wrong. You tell us where they were right, where we were all wrong. Tell us what we missed. I want to know, because this is a fascinating exercise to think about, and it's a lot of what we do here. We imagine what the future of video game collecting looks like. So tell us what we got. Sorry, Sculptures Cut, you aren't making it in any world that I live in. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm entirely wrong. Tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm so wrong about Mega Man, and why Tyler is the world's biggest Mega Man hater.
I am. Mega Man 2, I think, is great, which is hot take here, guys. Mega Man 2 is a great game.
Yeah, you know why? This is exactly why Mega Man 9 is terrible. Because Mega Man people don't understand what made Mega Man fun. And that's why Mega Man 2 was good. Because they're like, oh, made it a little more easier, more accessible. We did these things. And they're like, oh yeah, you made it fun instead of just stupid and like ridiculous. Even though it still had those gotcha moments, you took a lot of those away. Mega Man 9 was like, oh, I'm going to recreate Mega Man 1 and make it stupid again. And everyone was like, oh yeah, no thanks, I don't love that.
And for everyone shouting at your phone right now, oh, Mega Man 6 is better than 2. You're a casual. You like the easiest and most obvious one. It doesn't matter, because not enough people played 4 through 6 entirely. Yep. And anyone going back now is not going to play all 6 Mega Man games. They're probably just going to play 2. Like, if you're in 20 years, people are going to be looking back and they're just going to be like, I'm going to play Mega Man 2 because people say that's the best one. Even if they're wrong, it doesn't matter. All right, Johnny, I'm going to give props to your list in 2 ways. So some of our major differences, I've got Madden and Doom. You've got Final Fantasy and Stadium Events. Every game on this list is a Nintendo game, except for Madden and Doom in some way. And so I think there's a future, and we're talking about the post-physical video game future, where people don't collect video games, they collect Nintendo games. Kind of like some people don't collect comics, they collect Marvel comics. I think that might be the future, and if that's the case, I think your games might beat out things like Doom and Madden.
I hope that's not the future, but it could be.
I hope that's not the future, but you know what? I don't think Wizardry is getting on this list, so.
No. All right. Hey, we did it, Tyler. We did the list. We did the thing.
And we stretched it out to 2.5 hours. Man, yeah, for a list of 10 to 12 games. Awesome.
I told you. I said it's going to be a short episode. So definitely we're getting to 3 hours. The minute I said it's the kiss of death. All right. Tyler, let's go ahead and let's do a collector's question, and let's talk about the best thing we saw in the Discord.
All right, Johnny, what's the best thing that we saw on Discord?
Well, there's
Kanakis
a
got
lot to
Earthbound. It's the game.
It's not making the list. Sorry, Kanakis.
Oh, come on. Oh, you know what? Living in Bits got his WWF King of the Ring on NES. One of the worst games I've ever played in my life. Signed by Bret Hart. Bret Hart prominently featured on the cover. That's super cool, and it's related to wrestling, and everybody loves wrestling.
Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of Galdius showing me cool and impressive things. Just going to bring you up in general every single week for all the cool things you always buy. Always jealous. Tom Nook got an ActRaiser 2. Love that.
The Fleo got Fun and Games for SNES, talking about things that people thought were cool 20 years ago. Fun and Games, I used to remember thinking was like a top SNES thing. I was like, oh, the complete in box is so rare to get a Fun and Games.
The manual is so hard to get.
Oh, who cares about Fun and Games anymore?
So one of the best things actually I saw on the Discord is, Tyler, you got the Charamara Zelda carrying box for your Zelda and your Famicom. So pretty fucking cool, actually. Sorry. I know we don't like to pick ourselves, but that's like one of the best things I saw.
I'm the Lunchbox King now, Johnny.
Yeah,
I'll talk about that in a second.
We got lots of people showing off their shelves. The best thing, and also to Tom Nook, he got a house, and that's like really the best thing. Congrats on that, dude.
Man, getting a house in 2025. Tyler keeps saying it's impossible. That we'll never claw ourselves out to home ownership. Yeah, congratulations, Tom. That's super cool. Yeah. And it's in New Jersey. The Tom best Nook, place to live.
What's it called? Kanaka's getting an Earthbound. I love to see an Earthbound. Like, Earthbound gets a lot of shit, but I do love seeing a big box Earthbound. It does have a lot of presence. Love it.
I've tried playing that game like 3 times, and I still only own it for its amazing shelf presence. It's fine. It's good. I won't say anything bad about Earthbound.
I can't believe you haven't got through Earthbound. It's like, I thought that would be an RPG that would be more up your alley. All right. Maybe on the next sleepover, we'll get through Earthbound.
Steve the Wired asks, what is the game you sold, lost, or had a parent throw out that you regret most?
Ogre Battle on the PlayStation 1.
Really? Why?
Because I sold it myself. I did it to myself. I've talked about it. It was my inflection point, because I was standing in the GameStop, and they were offering me such a small pittance for it, and I was just like, whatever, I'm just trying to get shit out of here. And I remember leaving and being like, I should go back and get it. I've lost everything I own multiple times. So I lost all my shit. You know how I saved my like Final Fantasy 2 and my Super Nintendo? It was like one of the few things that have ever been saved. But I just remember distinctly looking at that Ogre Battle on the PS1, knowing that the memory card stickers were in there, knowing that like just everything was nice in there. And I bought it new and just fucking feeling bad about it. And like going out and then just being like, there's no way to get it back. It's already gone. And just knowing in that moment that I would never do that again.
So there is like this psychological phenomenon where humans are they remember losses more than wins. They're like that. They want to avoid a loss more than they care about winning the same amount. That's like a gambling psychological phenomenon. I don't remember what it's called, but I very distinctly remember 3 games that I got rid of. One was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on the Game Boy Advance. It rung up at 25 cents when I was trading it to GameStop, and I didn't say anything. And I'm like, that's a whole video game, and I'm only getting a quarter for it. And that devastated me because I didn't have, I don't speak up at anything. And I got 25 cents for Tony Hawk 2 on GBA. There was a copy of WarioWare Twisted on the GBA complete that I gave away in sort of it was like a game box where like you take a game, you leave a game. And I wanted to put something good in there so I could take something good. And I don't remember what I got, but it was not as good as WarioWare Twisted. That's not even like an A-list game. It's just like to buy that again would be like $150. And I already had it. And my copy I probably bought new. It was probably mint. And it's just really frustrating. It's not like, think of all the opportunity cost of games I could have had over the past 20 years. And I still think about a game that was probably worth $60 when I got rid of it. It was probably worth like $40 when I got rid of it. And I still think about that one game just because that is how much we remember things that we lose.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then one of the only games I've ever sold in my entire life was Hurricanes on Super Nintendo. For whatever fucking reason, I sold Hurricanes for like $5. No, I got it for $5, and I probably sold it for, like 30 or something. And now it's like a very rare and exciting game. Again, not the biggest deal in terms of things, but I remember, I sold a game that then turned into one of the rarest, more expensive games in the set. And I will never forget that. And that's like one of the things I think about that prevents me from selling anything. Because every time I sell something, I'm like, man, this game is going to be worth more in 10 years, and I'm going to remember the time I sold it, even though that money can go back into different games that I think are better, games that make my collection better, or just decluttering my space. But psychologically, it's hard for me to do that. And so the solution is never start collecting.
Yes. Never do that to yourself. This is a dumb place to be. All right, what else? We got more questions?
Okay, we got a reaction to a Bird Dog Gaming video. I forgot what the title of the video was. He put out a video that was like, should we all just forget the Wii U ever existed? Koei Jesus, who is Tiger Wolf, asks, is the Switch more collectible than the Wii U?
Yes.
Yeah, like bar none, absolutely. And I'm someone who would say only the first print matters. Literally every single game on this, like not every single game, every game that came out in the first 3 years of the Switch came out first on Wii U, and they just repackaged that slop to us and sold it to us as a deluxe edition and like whatever, throw out the entire Wii U set, pretend the Wii U never happened. Nintendo Switch will be one of the more collectible consoles that's ever been released because it has every game. And people don't care about the fact that, no, it's not the first print of some arcade re-release from 1996. They care that it's one console that has the most games besides computers. Right? Switch probably has the most games of anything.
Probably. Yeah, I mean...
especially when you include all the compilations and stuff like that. Like, it's got to have the most.
Probably. And online and everything. I don't know. It's hard to ascertain, but it's definitely up there, top 3. Yeah. The Wii U is an excellent and collectible thing for set collectors because it's small and easy, and like that seems exciting, but it just doesn't have any of the Switch. Like, and we kind of need the Switch to be more collectible than the Wii U, honestly. If we want video game collecting to grow and expand, like, you have to hope that the Switch 2 is more collectible than the Switch. Okay, like, you kind of have to hope that modern stuff keeps taking on life. Sorry to break it to you guys.
Switch 2, there's zero chance Switch 2 will be more collectible than the Switch with all like the stupid key cards.
I mean, some Switch could happen in people's brains. I don't know what it would be, but maybe. I doubt it.
I think in terms of how collectible a console is, you have to have enough nuance to the console where an average collector has something that the other average collector doesn't have. And on NES, that's super easy. If you even dabble in unlicensed games, you probably have something cool that like your friend doesn't have. Like, it could be Secret Scout, like just kind of an uncommon unlicensed game. That's cool. It's unlicensed. It's an interesting thing to have. No one has it. If you have any Sachin game, things like that, you might have the N7 Tecmo NBA basketball, and you can explain to your friend what that is and why it matters because they've never heard of it and they don't care. Stuff like that is cool. Everyone's Wii U set is essentially the same. Like, there are variants on Wii U, but who fucking cares?
Yep.
Oh, I got the 7 controller Breath of the Wild. Oh, I got the Skylanders set, the one that's the black and white box. No, let me tell you why this is worth over $1,000 now. Let me tell you.
Have you heard of the Devil's Third? It's very rare. They only made 2,000 of them.
Underrated gem.
All right. What else you got?
That's it. Those are 2 questions, Johnny.
Those are the 2 questions. All right, Tyler, you've been gone a long time. Did you buy anything, or were you too sick to purchase?
Well, it's been a long time. So, I spent a lot of money on the Charumera Zelda, or really just the Charumera Famicom case. So Charmera Ramen Company, I think for their like 20th anniversary or something, they released a special edition of The Legend of Zelda, 1,500 copies, and it came with a special branded Famicom Disk System disc, and you got a carrying case, a Charmera carrying case for a Famicom, with an actual Famicom console that has a Charmera sticker on the console. And then they did the same promotion for Kid Icarus, but the Kid Icarus discs aren't special. It's just a regular retail release of Kid Icarus, so that kind of sucks. That's one less exciting, rare thing in the world. But the Kid Icarus ones came with the same console and the same carrying case. So this isn't like it's limited to 1,500 copies like the actual game is, but it is a rare and collectible carrying case that was only released for 2 promotional Famicoms that were released as contest prizes. This came up on eBay for like $500 a couple years ago, and I'm like, that's cool, but you know what? I really only collect software. I only collect video games. I don't need this big, bulky carrying case thing around my house. And now, a couple years later, I still hadn't found one, and I paid almost double for that for a very nice one.
I remember sending you that auction link. I remember being like, hey, you see this? And it sat on eBay for a while, too.
And someone bought it, to be clear. I think it was $550, and someone bought it. And then as soon as it was gone, I'm like, God damn it, I really like Charmera Zelda. I really should have bought that. I already have the console, too, and it's like, I should have just got the carrying case for it.
They probably bought it because we talked about it.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of money to get the carrying case, and then as soon as I did that, because I paid a ridiculous price, it was like $900. It's like a ridiculous price for essentially a lunchbox. As soon as I did that, someone posted for sale on Yahoo a boxed Kid Icarus one. So these carrying cases came packed flat in a box, and the box said the name of the game on it. So theoretically, there is a box for the Charmera Zelda carrying case, but I've never seen the box before. And this is the first boxed Kid Icarus one I bought, or I saw. So I ended up buying that one as well. So now I have 2 Charmera Famicom Special Edition carrying cases, one of them boxed.
You are the best Charmera Zelda.
I am the lunchbox
box collector.
This is the kind of thing I would look at NES collectors and be like, why do you have this dumbass standee? Why do you have a boxed like the wheeled cart for the NES that you put a TV on? Why do you have the Sharp NES TV? This is all gigantic garbage that does not make your collection better. Go buy actual video games. But this is like my thing that's like, this is my garbage. This is the one that I really like.
This is the one that makes me happy.
Yeah.
All right, you're LBK, Lunchbox King.
I'm the Lunchbox King. I probably got other stuff, but whatever. That's the coolest thing I got.
All right, what did I buy? Tyler, I bought NFL Club 96 on both the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Did I already say these?
Is this a speculative investment for those sports guys that we know are gonna make big purchases?
They have their Kmart exclusives that came with a phone card.
Oh, phone card variants. Wait, you got both? Is this 2 different things? Is this like for the Genesis and Super Nintendo you got these?
Yeah.
Wow. Excellent.
Yep. Super Nintendo one is Canadian only. I'm not sure about the Genesis one. I bought that. I bought it from Rare Bucky as the person I bought it from. So, and he had the best price, which was crazy.
What he had?
No, he had the best price on the Genesis one compared to a couple other sellers. We got that NASCAR Chase for the Cup Walmart variant. Sick. Love it.
Is that the 2005 or 2006?
2005.
Oh, really? That's the rarer one, I think.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's on Xbox and GameCube. I imagine it's on PS2 as well. So it's just a sticker on NASCAR 2005 and 2006 that says Walmart exclusive. It's not actually a cover art difference, but they're all very rare. I searched for Xbox ones of both of them for the longest time, never found them.
Yep, it's a pain in the ass. When they go, no one cares, and like that. Sometimes when there's like one person who knew what they had who had it for like $80, I'm like, someone's gonna list this thing and no one's gonna care, and it's gonna be $20, and that's what finally happened.
That's exactly it.
So I got Rampage 2 Universal Tour for the N64. Pretty cool.
What, like a big box or?
No, not a big box. Just
You
Oh
already
no, I
own
got
that.
the
What are you talking about?
no. I got the big box, but I didn't have the T-shirt variant.
Oh, that's fancy. But you're getting like a lot of good variants. Look at you.
So
You're this is what your life could be, guys, if you don't collect sets. Because if he was collecting sets, he would be like, I got a bunch of mid-tier RPGs for the Sony Vita, the PlayStation Vita. Like, no one cares about that shit. Every single individual thing Johnny's buying is cool. Fucking NFL quarterback club with a phone card. I don't care. That's cool. When you pick that up 10 years from now, you're going to look at that and be like, oh yeah, that's cool. When you pick up that mid-tier PlayStation Vita RPG, you're going to be like, oh, maybe I should play this one day. And you won't. And you never will, and you'll never care about it.
nope, I already don't care about it. So this Rampage just has a little sticker on it that says a free inside Rampage t-shirt. It's not really inside. It's like cellophane to the back. Now, this one isn't cellophane to the back, but I did find an open Rampage 2 shirt, Tyler.
Hell yeah.
I found
Why?
one and
Who's
it was
selling that?
someone just had it. You know what? I just searched Rampage World Tour and someone had it for like $25.
Damn. That's
and I was
awesome.
like, because other people had it listed too. It was like filthy and gross. I cleaned it and got it looking good. And then I packed it small enough to put it in a box protector next to the Rampage. So that's what I did. I bought that. I bought some stuff because brain virus, I guess. You want to hear less cool stuff that I bought?
Sure.
Or should I just stop? Did I tell you about Plan 9 from Outer Space?
You did tell me that it existed. There's a Plan 9 PC game, I think.
Mm-hmm. By
Cool.
Konami. Commodore 64 by Konami. You'll love this one. I bought World Driver on the N64. Do you know what that has in common with Rampage?
Did it have a t-shirt variant?
It does have a t-shirt variant, but I can't find the t-shirt for this one yet. I just bought the box. I'm like, I got the t-shirt variants.
This is all pretty good. Because like N64, kind of a console where variants are not exciting. They'll have like variants like, oh, the rumble pack flipped from left to right on the cover of the box. So getting like the actual cool stuff on N64, I think, is really cool.
And then I bought a bunch of dumbass shit, which it's like all in the realm of like Halloween. I'll give you a quick rundown. I might have bought an I Spy Spooky Mansion for the PC, a game called The Devil Inside. Yeah, very exciting stuff. I told you about the funniest game I've bought. It's called Slice and Hook. It's haunted miniature golf. I sent you a picture of this.
Pretty good.
Anyways,
I was big into miniature golf games.
And the thing I bought, that one of the things I like the best, I thought it was a triangle box. It's not a triangle box. Brain Dead 13 for the PC.
Like triangular prism. Yeah.
Yeah, triangular prism. It's not. It's actually just a rectangle. So a little less cool.
Neat. Still neat.
Still neat packaging. Brain Dead 13 for the PC. You've probably seen it on other systems, like the PS1 and the Sega Saturn and the 3DO. Anyways, I got dumb Halloween stuff, and I don't want to go into it too much because what else am I going to talk about during October then? That's it. That's why I bought. You play anything? I didn't play anything.
You know, in other buying updates, Bai just sent out an email that, everything over 800. Oh, no, there's no more diminished exceptions. So everything is going to have
$75 tacked on fee.
Yeah. So it's 15% tariff rate, and then they're charging you $50 for doing the customs paperwork. So now every fucking package you get from Bai, at least, it's going to be like an extra $40-$50 just in paperwork costs. And I've already got these fees from fucking like UPS from buying stuff from Japan already. It's not just that they charge the 15% tariff or whatever. They'll tack on like an extra $30 like documentation fee. And so everything is way more expensive now. Yeah.
And I did not buy my Japanese stuff because I was like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe they'll fix this. And then they did that. And it wasn't like you got like a month. It was just over. And I was like, fuck. Now it's like, do I eat it and go buy some of the cool Japanese ones I want? Or it's like, and you can't just get them from eBay. That's not going to help you. You will still get a tariff.
Yep.
So like
vote.
I guess I like not get it. It's like so obnoxious. This is so obnoxious. I'm not here for the politics of whatever. As a collector, we're being screwed. We almost got away with it. We did not get away with it.
Why don't you just buy some good old American games? You could be buying some EA PC games instead that were made in America, Johnny.
I bought I Spy Spooky Mansion.
There you go. That is a 100% homegrown American collectible video game.
That Plan 9, they tried to get me on. I had to tell them that this was made in the USA, and I don't get charged the tariff for shit made in the USA, even if it came from Canada. I fought it and won. So
this is another reason that Japanese games aren't getting to the top 10 because we're gonna tariff them out of our collector's conscience.
So, anyways, that's it. That's what I bought. I didn't play anything. Tyler, you didn't play anything?
I played some Roller Coaster Tycoon because I was in a theme park mood.
You were sick and feeling comfort food?
Well, because I just came home from Cedar Point and I was like, all right.
Oh,
no, I played Gabriel Knight. Did I talk about that?
No.
It's all right.
I just bought a Gabriel Knight 3.
I'm never going to get to Gabriel Knight 3. I only played Gabriel Knight because I want to play Gabriel Knight 2.
The much cooler box. I just missed an auction on that yesterday.
Man, the guys, you guys didn't live through the 90s and like watch like, I don't know, sitcoms and stuff. Just like the casual misogyny of entertainment in the 90s. Fucking crazy. Gabriel Knight is like a pretty contemptible character. He's a bad character. He's like an absolute misogynist. Just the worst. The 90s. There it is. A piece of culture. Gabriel Knight.
Yeah, you did it. All right. Okay. Do we have anything else? I think that's it for the show. We did it, Tyler. We did it. We did the thing.
All right, go do your. Well, I don't know where you're going. You're going somewhere soon. Go do your thing. That's the show. I got to go edit this now.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you to our patrons. If you want to ask us questions and get involved with that and be on our Discord with all the awesome people, it's patreon.com/collectorsquest. It's $5. So anyways, if you want to do that, we welcome you. And if you want to just keep listening how you are, that's totally fine too. We appreciate all of you and thank you so much. Catch you next time. Bye.